has. Here is our first Chili Bowl heat race lineup for 2025. Chris?
Hayden Mabe on the front row, making his Chili Bowl debut to his outside Emilio Hoover in car number 9. Row number 2, Young Money Kyle Larson, 2-time shootout winner 2 weeks ago. Back at the Chili Bowl looking for number 3. He'll start third on his outside. Kyler Johnson in the 71T. Todd Jackson, and you guys just heard from him, Cooper Miller going to be outside of row number 3. Kevin Newton, Scoot Newton in row number 4 with James Spees, and Michelle Decker rounding out your field.
First event of Chili Bowl 2025, the 39th annual Chili Bowl Nationals, powered by NOS Energy Drink, is underway off the 4th corner, green flag. Hoover with an excellent start in the outside. He'll cross high to low and take the early lead over Hayden Mabe and Kyle Larson. That's 1 through 3 with Newton around in the corner. Gave him the commentator's curse early on to get the whammy out of our system.
Saw it coming into turn number 3. They were just fighting for real estate on the bottom of the racetrack, and Kevin got tagged, also had a little bit of contact from the front bumper. Here's Kevin coming in. Oh, man, actually just got him pretty hot.
Came in with a head of steam there, trying to make a big move for the 4th position, and overcooked her a little bit.
Lesson learned on Newton. He'll go to the back of the field.
Yeah, that's the pressure of the Chili Bowl, right? You feel like you're forced to have to go forward and have to race as hard as you can every single lap, and especially in these early heat races, you got to get any position you can. And we saw Kevin going for 1 and took 1.5, and that just didn't work out.
Emilio Hoover, though, doing a nice job outside of the front row, took the point away from Hayden Mabe. Kyle Larson still in that 3rd position as everybody began to string out single file, but still plenty of time, and it looks like we will get a full lineup reset with 0 laps complete. We will go back to 2 by 2 by 2 and see if Emilio can do it again. If you're Emilio, you're probably just like, you gotta be kidding me. That was exactly what I needed.
He'll have to try her a second time, and your inside lane to be happier for a better start for the inside for Hayden Mabe. See how that shakes out. We should make a mention. Start-finish line coming off the corner is brought to you by Precision Concrete. You see it right there. Caution flags here in the building from Raising Cane's, and if we happen to see a red flag, it'll be the Honest Abe Roofing red flag.
So we'll try it again. Lights are out as cars will make their way off of turn number 2. Hayden Mabe, Emilio Hoover, your front row with Kyle Larson and Kyler Johnson in row number 2. 8 laps, passing points the game. Heat 1 is underway.
Hoover once again crossing high to low and has it. Larson with a run underneath Mabe into turn number 3. And move Kyle Larson up to 2nd here on the opening lap.
Good start that time again for Emilio Hoover, but now Larson up to 2nd quickly. He's going to try to attack for the race lead. Meanwhile, battle for 3rd coming through on the bottom. Kyler Johnson trying to keep that spot away, but Hayden Mabe takes over that 3rd position. So Mabe from 1st back to 3rd, but trying to hang on as the top 2 start to pull away.
Hoover under some pretty intense pressure from the best in the world. Down to the bottom, Larson shows a nose, denied that time by Hoover. Down the back straightaway as this time by halfway through the heat race, 4 in the books. 4 remaining on the ledger as Larson circles around the outside to take the lead.
Yeah, Kyle just being patient there, sizing up Emilio Hoover. Hoover just trying to lock down on the bottom and make Kyle go around, and he did. Larson now pulling away as you look back from 3rd on back. Mabe, Johnson, Cooper Miller, and Michelle Decker from the back up to 6th.
9-6, a decent scoring run, but not monster enough. Decker needs another spot, maybe 2. Down to the bottom, Johnson continuing to push the issue, trying to sneak underneath Hayden Mabe. Mabe has some car speed, though, doing a good job holding Kyler off. Coming to 1 to go, near catastrophe in the corner for the 8 car of Miller. He'll drop a spot to Decker.
Yeah, Decker able to capitalize there as Miller just absolutely gave a shot in the shorts to Kyler Johnson, but the checker flag's out. 8 laps the distance. Kyle Larson picks up heat race number 1 from 3rd, so a 3-1 run for Larson. Hoover 2-2, Hayden Mabe 1-3. That's your top 3 with Johnson, Decker rounding out the top 5. So a 9-5 for Michelle Decker. Big mover on this one here in the opening heat race. So a 9-5 looks like should be 92 points for Michelle.
Be a good enough run to get well into a qualifier. Good job from her. 110 from Larson, and your scoring opportunity in round number 1. And Hoover Stop before he can go off the ramp. To the top he will go. Good look at the BR Motorsports Ignitioneering Speed Shot. Heat race number 2 on track. Justin Peck, front row for this one. Reese Nowatarski gonna go outside row number 1. Jim Van Zant and Jacob Dykstra in row number 2. Dylan Welch and Dakota Hiley are row 3. Noah Harris and Nathan Kilwine, row 4. Logan Prickett all by his lonesome in row number 5. Up top for the K1 Race Gear interview and Chris Moore.
Yeah, thank you, Caleb. Have Kyle Larson here. Kyle, we just talked. Track's probably a little wider than normal for Heat 1, but also the good news, it's not the Tulsa shootout. 3-1 is probably going to get you in the invert in a good spot.
Yeah, not going up against 400 others on a single day is nice. But, yeah, no, that was good. I was glad the first start we didn't get done because I felt like, it was going to be hard to pass that kid. He looked like he was doing a good job in front of me. And then, yeah, I was able to get the second quickly, and Emilio was much looser than I expected as well. So, yeah, I moved up and felt really, really good. So, yeah, my car felt great there. Even after the checkered, I ran really hard and felt amazing. So, yeah, off to a good start, and I don't know, that should line us up pretty decently for a qualifier and try and go forward in that.
I know the goal for you is to win, but probably a little less pressure this year, right? You don't have to lock in to be able to race on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's still, though, if you really want a shot to win on Saturday, you still need to lock in tonight. So I would say there's just as much pressure. But, yeah, just try to have fun with it and not really let that pressure, creep in your mind too much. But, yeah, again, my car feels great. Obviously, too, I'm comfortable in this thing. So, yeah, I feel like we'll have a decent shot.
All right, good luck.
Thanks.
There you go, Kyle Larson. Feels like he's got a decent shot. I don't know. Hey, guys, real quick, just want to give you an update. Alex Sewell is here in the staging lane. He said they threw another rocker arm, but they've got it back on. He's good to go.
Thank you, Chris. Heat race number 2 is green and already contact with your front row of Peck and Nowatarski. And Justin Peck's going to take the lead, but it's going to be for naught. We got one upside down.
Left front in big trouble for Dakota Hiley, unfortunately. Highly unlikely to restart this with all the damage. That was easy.
That was a softball for you, Caleb Hart.
Yep.
Little fence repair may be needed as well. So we'll check out the iBox Springs instant replay of this one at the beginning of Heat 2. Watch kind of right top of your screen, up and over, and another instance of keeping your foot in it, right, Clinton?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely going for it right there and entered high and hard, and somehow made that stick. He was going to be a hero, but that's going to be all she wrote for this heat race for Dakota Hiley.
Hiley started this race, is scheduled to start this race in the 6th spot, so that's going to shuffle up Nathan Kilwine from the 8th position to 6th. But a little bit of a physical start between your front row of Justin Peck and Reese Nowatarski. They saw how good the outside could be on the initial green, and Justin was there to try to make sure that bottom was protected.
Bears repeating, too, that passing points are calculated from the drop of the initial green flag. So everybody who just got gifted a position from spot 6 on back is counted as starting where they were originally on that first lap. So they all just got a free point. Brian?
Guys, just riding on the back side-by-side here, taking a look at some of the damage. It looks like it could just be the front end. Everything on the frame looks good. It did get both front shocks. It did get the axle. The right side nerf bar, and there is a wiggle in the right rear tire, so they'll take a look to see if it's just a bent wheel. Hopefully didn't get anything there in the rear end, but I don't think it's anything enough damage to end the night. They'll make the repairs and try and come back for one of the sub mains.
Here in our first of 5 nights of preliminary action, and already trying to tear the fence down here.
Yeah, this one's getting off to a rough start, but we've got the lights out coming back to green. So a complete restart here with Justin Peck, Reese Nowatarski on the front row. Jim Van Zant on the inside of row 2. Green flag, and again, more contact. This time to turn 1. Justin Peck will get the whole shot off of 2 and take the lead.
Peck aggressively moving to defend that front row starting spot. 100 points off the front's fine, but you don't want to back her up. That puts you in bad position. Peck leads Nowatarski and Dykstra 1 through 3 early.
Dylan Welch started 5th, up to 4th, going to go to the inside of Jacob Dykstra and battle for that position for 3. If you can get through this one, looking at 2nd, 3rd, and 4th on your screen, going good battle here. Justin Peck pulling away here 3 laps in.
Welch had the top side of the racetrack rolling good. And just see it widening out earlier than we feel like we're used to here at the Chili Bowl, but guys able to make moves all over the Expo Raceway right now.
Yeah, they're all moving up now. Welch joins Dijkstra and Reese Nowakowski that rolled the top side there in 3 and 4. As you look a little bit farther back to Harris, there's Dylan in that 60X, the belt sponsorship for John Levesque and his brother, trying to rip around Jacob Dijkstra. Starting to run out of time though. 5 laps complete, just 3 to go.
Dijkstra running just defensive enough of a line in front of him that Welch hasn't really had that big opportunity yet to get by him. Time getting to be a precious minimum though. 2 times left around in this one, and Peck is being reeled in slightly. I'm sorry, Peck was further out. That second place Nowatarski getting closed up on real quick like.
Yeah, Jacob Dijkstra may have an opportunity here as Peck rolls for the final time in 3 and 4. He'll easily win heat number 2, but battle for second off the corner, and it's going to be Nowatarski that holds off Jacob Dijkstra. Dylan Welch and Noah Harris, your top 5. So Peck a 2-1 here in heat race, or a 1-1 in heat race number 2. Jacob Dijkstra in that 3rd spot went 4-3, Dylan 5-4. So not too many big movers here in heat race number 2.
Bunch of 1 position gains throughout the field. Your big scorer will be Peck there again. Make your lands, right? Yeah. 100 points available to you, knock it down, and then have a better qualifier.
Yeah, the motto here is just do your job. You know, you don't have to be a hero when you hit the racetrack. So, yeah, quick 2-1 there for Peck, or 1-1, and he's going to be really happy with that and move on. And I bet he'll start, 2nd, 3rd in a qualifier. And if you can go win that thing, you're in really good shape.
Cracking our first NOS energy drink here at the CB Nationals, NOS Zero. Big thank you to everybody with NOS for keeping us fueled up over the course of this broadcast week. We have got lots to go for you from start to finish, including every lap Saturday morning through Saturday night here on FloRacing. Let's kick things up top. K1 Race Gear interview. Earl Hoon has got Justin Peck.
Justin Peck here with me, dude. Walk me through the week here so far, because it didn't start off well. You didn't get all your equipment, went to 2 different airports, 2 different states. Finally came back in here at around 11 a.m. You went out and practiced around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now you sit on the pole, contact on the start, and you were able to win the heat race.
Yeah, it's it's not about how you start the week, it's about how you finish it. And it's Savani windows and doors, Apache Transport 5Ps pretty fast. I mean, I haven't felt this comfortable in a midget in quite a while. It's definitely a really nice piece to drive, and I'm happy to be here racing again. I kind of had a bad taste in my mouth of the Chili Bowl from the last couple experiences I've had in this building, and took a year off, and now I'm motivated to be here, and I want to pick up a driller. So we started off, did what we could do, won the heat race from the pole, and now we're gonna have to make up for that in the qualifier and hopefully get some passing points and lock her into the show tonight.
With all the events that you have raced at in your career and with all the events that you have won at, do you still get nervous, especially coming here to the Chili Bowl?
No, it's weird. I really never really gotten all that nervous. I think the only time I've ever actually been nervous in a race is at the Knoxville Nationals when you strap in your car and you're getting ready to go for 50 laps. So it's pretty cool. I really like this event. It's fun to drive a midget when the midget's right, and like I said, it's fast right now. So we'll just keep going to racetrack and try to come out on top.
Justin Peck, guys, winner of heat race number 2.
Making the staff back at Skagit Speedway in Burlington, Washington happy. Hager's going to add an extra plant-based nugget to his dinner tonight just to celebrate. It's going to be awesome. We are ready. Heat race number 3 hits the track. It is Zach Blurton and Nick Hoffman, row number 1. Aiden Price and Bill Johnson in row 2. Kate Taylor and Tanner Holmes in row 3 with Kyle Bellum and Cap Henry in row number 4. It's a sneaky good heat race.
Would have been way cooler if they weren't apologizing.
Heat race number 3 here on Second Opinion Auto Qualifying night. Underway off of turn 4, it's Hoffman trying to go 2-1, but we've got trouble deep in the field, and one ended up on its side.
I want to say that was Holmes in the black and green 31 that went bouncing early, and saying that he started it wouldn't be completely accurate, but unfortunately he didn't finish it. The guy who ended up finishing was Bill Johnson's 2NP.
Speaking of Second Opinion, Dan and Patricia Harris's operation, one of their cars on its side. Here's a replay for you. iBox Springs instant replay, middle of your screen, and up over the left front went Holmes, and Johnson just had nowhere to go.
Two guys definitely fighting for the same spot, you know, down there, and I felt like Tanner Holmes put himself in position to be able to enter the corner down there, and you know, just no one was willing to back out of it.
Almost stood up on its back tail tank there and rested back on its side. Clinton, you talked about too how aggressive you have to be, and drivers, I think it's hard. You think how aggressive you need to be, right? Like, I got to go out here and pass as many cars as I can, but you walk through the scenarios in your head coming to green, you almost can overthink pretty easily.
Absolutely. It's easy to overplan or try to create the idea of how it's going to play out in your head, and then not be ready if everything doesn't go, you know, exactly how you want it. It's easy for you to plan out your start, but you can't control everyone else. So I always think it's a good idea to have an idea of, okay, if this happens, this is how I'm going to react. But you got to be on your toes and just kind of think through all of those scenarios. But I don't think you ever want to go into it with a game plan of this is exactly what I'm going to do when the green flag drops, because it'll catch you off guard and you won't be ready for whatever does happen in front of you.
Saw Zach Dahm, former Power I Midget champion, looking on, watching Nick Hoffman. Actually was the one that did the welding for Hoffman's front bumper and also Nerf bars as well. Brian Ward, you're down in the infield. What can you tell us?
Well, everything on the race car looked pretty good except for the rear bumper. It was nearly pulled out of the spuds on the back and looked like it might be dragging the racetrack, and there was no protection on the tail tank. I didn't notice any other damage really walking around on the race car, so it may have just been a safety concern with no protection on the tail tank. I'll try and get an exact word here once we get parked.
Back to your original point, Clinton, it was Mike Tyson. He said everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
That's right, yeah. And I mean, you never know what to expect inside this building. You can think you have a good idea of what the guys around you are going to do, but you know, even sometimes just your car or your start doesn't go to plan if you spin your tires or someone, you know, comes at you low. And it's tough to ever try to specifically plan out of how a start is going to go. And the starts are super critical here, so you got to be on your toes and be able to capitalize on any situation presented to you.
To that extent, Chris, now all these drivers, with the exception of the 2NP, going to get a second shot at getting this race up and going. And Nick Hoffman, as it was looking, may not have needed to do that front bumper, getting that reinforcement, as he was off to a good start.
Yeah, he was, and he did exactly what we saw Emilio Hoover do in that first heat race, is just get a little bit of that angle, a little bit of a jump to get around the outside of the front row. But it's going to have to try it again. Didn't have to use the front bumper like you mentioned, but I think everybody else now trying to settle in and come up with a game plan, knowing just how crazy it got there in turn number one. But we'll see what Tanner Holmes does from the outside of the second row. But
it's kind of crazy. Our initial start had 4 cars with the number 2.
Yeah.
All 4 up front. I was so confused for a minute on who it was who.
So many 2s. Brian?
Guys, I followed this 2NP all the way over to the work area. They got it here, had them put the car down. They told the crew, hey, look at this rear bumper, and you guys get to decide if you want to go out or not. And they said, yeah, drop the car, push it out. Now, as they try to push it, the four-wheeler got stuck on that bumper that was kind of hanging down low. So we're going to give it an attempt here, but that was the reason for towing it over to the work area. They wanted to make sure the crew was okay with that car going back out.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, it fell off, kind of that plate in front of the push truck or push vehicle, just hanging oh so low. That's got to be a little nerve-wracking.
It's pretty light walled stainless steel.
Yeah.
In this instance, it's not going to take a whole lot to have it leaning, but fired back up and ready to go.
Barely got pushed off, too.
So second try, and it's Zach Blurden going ASCS racing in 2025 from the front row, taking on Nick Hoffman. Like I said, a lot of sprint car flavor here in this heat.
Caleb, I wanted to chime in real quick. It looked like it was kind of jerking without getting a push, and I went and confirmed they've got a starter on that 2NP.
All right. Similar to like the Focus Midgets that we have running around home base up in Pacific Northwest, the Northwest Focus Midgets starters, clutches, all that good stuff. Never need a push start.
Expedited the process, getting him back in line as the lights are out. We'll try it again for heat race number 3. Down and away, we're back underway.
Well, if you bet on the 2 car, you bet well. There goes Hoffman out to the lead, jumping into it as he's stretching it early. Burton settling into second. 3-car battle for third, entering turn number 1.
Yeah, Tanner Holmes, the first one to jump outside. Got in the wall there off of turn 2. It's going to open the door. Cap Henry from the back trying to make something happen. Gets through. Cap Henry up to 4th already, and he's looking for more.
Henry has started 8th in this 8-4. Good score so far. Could use another point. He's going to have a chance to start right up on the tail tank of somebody, as for the second time Johnson has come to a stop, and we'll see a caution flag.
Kind of started with Kyle Bellum getting into the fence. Not sure if he just overcooked the corner entry and ran up over the cushion, but yeah, Bill Johnson not having the heat race he wants. Here's to take a look at the Ibach Springs instant replay. What happened? There's Kyle Bellum into the fence.
Nowhere to go for Johnson coming at the very tail end is
Cade Taylor got a little courtesy bump from Bill Johnson, kept him going right there. And flat left rear on Kyle Bellum's car. He sits in the work area.
Yeah, I'm down here taking a look at it. They pulled the bleeder out real quick. Now they get the wheel wrench down here, take that left rear off. And I wanted to address one more thing on that 2 car that was in the work area before. After Caleb mentioned, I went and confirmed with officials, or with the crew members, and it is an Ecotec engine in that 2 car.
It's going to be tight here on the work area time. Car's rolling into turn 3 right now. He's going to have till lights out.
They've got the new left rear on and trying to get that nut started, and they'll get the wheel wrench on it.
They're just about out of time, although the caution lights are still on, so they're going to go around one more time, and sure enough, there goes Kyle Bellum. So tip of the cap to the crew. We saw Garrett Benson down there helping out.
pretty fast and efficient left rear change for them. Bellum to rejoin up in the upper corner of turn number 3. And we're still at a full field, 3 in, 5 to go.
Be always one of the fascinating parts of the Chili Bowl is to watch the work area as we go through the week and just see how chaotic it gets, especially on Saturday. And the amount of people that jump in to help other teams, other drivers, really, really fascinating.
Cap Henry 8-4. That was a very timely caution for him.
Yeah.
Top side of 1 and 2 seems to be better than the top of 3 and 4. We'll see if he can sneak around Aiden Price.
Back under the green flag we go with 6 still to go in heat race number 3. And Hoffman out to a good restart here, but Cap Henry's gonna fire his 25K on the outside.
Open up the low groove to Holmes, but looks like it's the right move. So he closes on Price and he'll pass him down the back straightaway.
8-3 for Cap Henry as he goes back to the bottom. And it's gonna try to run down Zach Blurton and Nick Hoffman. As you look a little farther back, there's Aiden Price trying to fend off Tanner Holmes. That's for 4th. Holmes gonna take the Dave car, the Beelman Motorsports entry, and cross the nose and take over that 4th spot.
Nice job by Holmes driving into a better position late as we're coming to the white flag. One more time around for Nick Hoffman. Good looking heat race for him. Outside of the front row to the win in just a 1/5 of a mile and 105 points on deck for Nick.
He's been knocking on the door Saturday night to lock into the show. Nick Hoffman doing a nice job, wins heat race number 3. Zach Blurton finishing 2nd, and the big mover, Cap Henry, 8-3 in the 25H. Tanner Holmes and Aiden Price, the rookie, round out your top 5. So an 8-3 run worth 111. And move him atop Kyle Larson unofficially for high points through 3 heat races. Larson with 110. Henry, though, eclipses that with 111.
Hoffman unofficially 3rd at 105, but it is still early. 5 heat races to go. So we're coming up on heat 4 next. Take a look at the NOS Energy Drink Ramp Cam. Already drivers willing to have conversations, although nothing heated yet. We'll get there.
It's because I haven't been on track yet.
Troublemaker.
Oh. Yeah. I wasn't going to bring it up. You did.
I'm not afraid to joke around a little.
I know.
Guessing you're not sending Christmas cards anymore, but at the same time, right?
I think Dason and I are okay.
All
I mean,
right.
after some discussions that went beyond the races that night, and yeah, I think you realize, yeah, it's just we're racing hard, and I made a mistake. It's the same thing we've talked about 15 times now, but yeah. It's Dason handled it really well, I feel like.
Oh. Up top we go. K1 Race Gear interview with Chris.
Yeah, thank you, Caleb. Got Nick Hoffman here. Nick, you come out, start outside pole, you get out in front. Tell me, was your game plan out there to search around? It looked like you were trying top and bottom both as much.
Yeah, I just I didn't feel great on the bottom, and I could kind of see him peeking, underneath me there. And then so I moved out to the middle to try and carry a little more speed. I just didn't feel like I had a whole lot of grip down there. So Zach's done a great job for me. We just missed it just a little bit there, but he'll go to work on it and get it better for me for the feature, or for the qualifier. But yeah, our stuff's pretty good right now. I can't thank Jeff Taylor, Rockwell Security, NOS Energy Drink, everybody enough to put this deal together for me, and pretty damn cool to have a couple of my buddies working on this thing and then Gordy racing this week. So see what we can do tonight.
All right, good luck.
Thank you, appreciate it.
There you go, guys. Nick Hoffman.
Thank you, Chris. As heat race number 4 pushes off on the racetrack, she'll get the VR Motorsports speed shot. Here's your lineup. Ashton Torgerson in the Keith Kunz Motorsports 67 Cage Repulsor. Carson Bolden to his outside out of Quinlan, Texas. Zach Bowden and Devin Doby make up row number 2 with Mario Klauser, Mario Speedwagon in the Speedquip Motorsports entry inside row 3. Alex Sewell, you guys already heard it from our excellent pit reporters, already made it down the ramp. After motor trouble and hot laps, he'll start outside of row 3 with Brandon Carr and Danny Fry III rounding out your field.
His open wheel career up and fired a little bit further. See what the answer is. The Ramco Speed Group car versus the Keith Kunz Motorsports car from the front row. We're green. Torgerson looks like he hits his mark going into 1, but Bolden, nice head of steam out of turn number 2, keeping him in striking distance.
Oh, we got one upside down big in turn 3. Danny Fry III absolutely sailed it in on the top side, right reared into the hay bales, and went for a ride. Watch that the entire way develop. Back of the field, again, started dead last in this one. And we'll take a look at what happened here. The iBox Springs instant replay coming at you. Back of the field, up top. Bam.
Helicopter spin after, just like you said, into the hay bales there in the top of turn number 3. Second look at it, had a clean lane going around, just got too high on the racetrack.
It's a fine line of where you start to enter your car and get sideways into turn 3, and usually you have a reference on the wall to kind of judge, when you want to, start your corner. And with that big opening right there, it's easy to get lost and enter that corner too deep. That's the 3rd guy I feel like we've already seen do it tonight.
How about this, though?
Man, that right rear wheel is 100% bent, and
yeah.
I'd be surprised if that Jacobs ladder is connected to anything.
Well, they pushed him back off. We'll see if they can hang on.
Yeah, it's Chili Bowl, right? Let's go for it.
Right.
How many times did Jack Hodenshield prove he didn't need a Jacobs ladder?
It's happened a few times.
We'll try it again. Torgerson and Bolden on the front row.
Granted, not on a flat 5th mile, but at the same time.
Much better start here for Torgerson, although Bolden fighting tough. Got a good launch off of turn 2. He's going to go topside in 3 and 4. Torgerson leading lap 1, and that's a gaggle of race cars from 3rd on back.
Bolden lost a little bit of that position that he had made up. Now back on the hunt as that is Bowden in 3rd, Doby in 4th. Mario Klauser trying to weave his way through, but getting caught in the mess. They're taking up every inch of racetrack down the front straightaway and sorting themselves out into 1.
Yeah, Sewell and Klauser going at it, beating the bumpers off of things. That's led the 23 car sneak in.
Oh, Mario Klauser nearly looped it around in front of those 2 cars, somehow saved it. They're absolutely duking it out here from 4th on back. Klauser trying to pull away now, and here comes Alex Sewell to the outside in that car, number 8.
Sewell trying to be a hero as he works down to the bottom, trying to pick up some points. Nothing doing that time as Doby turning him away in the 23D, and Doby trying to work his way back up the field on the tail end of the 75 of Klauser with 3 to go.
Sewell's starting to get it figured out. The high side's good, and the way he's shortcutting into 3 is a good line also, I think. He's going to be able to clear Doby here, but going to run out of time on Klauser.
Coming through turns 3 and 4, the white flag will be displayed for Ashton Torgerson, who's got himself a solid 12 car length lead over Carson Bolden. Zach Bowden in that 3rd spot, Klauser back in 4th as they're all single file. Off 4, heat race winner Ashton Torgerson in the 67K. So Torgerson wins this one easily from the point. So 1-1, 2-2.
3-3.
Yeah.
Klauser picking up 1 spot to go 5-4. Lots of action, but tame as far as final movement goes, as Torgerson 100 points, and into a qualifier he will go. Halfway home on our heat races tonight. 4 in, 4 to go. 39th annual Chili Bowl Nationals, powered by NOS Energy Drink.
Looked a little bit like, too, Clinton, that the middle started to clean off just a little bit. You saw Clouser, unless he was just super, super loose, but there's a little bit of slick there here through 4 heat races.
Track's interesting right now because the moisture around the bottom of the racetrack is just kind of patchy. It's not like a specific line that just holds moisture that you can run around. So, yeah, we got a big moisture patch getting on the bottom of 1 and moisture off the top of 2, and it's the same thing in 3 and 4, just very hit and miss.
Earl Hoon Jr. at the top of the ramp with the K1 Race Gear interview.
Yeah, I got Ashton Torgerson here with me, buddy. You know how it goes in the Tulsa Expo Raceway. You got to be having a good night when you're getting a lot of TV time. Congratulations on the heat race win.
Yeah, we were pretty fast in hot laps, and they're in the heat race starting off pole. You know, they just got to win it with the format, and we were pretty good off right there, and we had a lot of speed, and I was kind of just searching everywhere once I was on front, kind of searching, seeing what was better. Kind of found my line there and felt pretty good, but I can't thank all my sponsors enough. You know, Safety Clean, Butler Built, and just my parents, really. Can't thank them all.
Ashton Torgerson, guys, looking to get this Safety Clean 67K in victory lane here tonight. I also want to bring you up to speed on something, a little bit of breaking news right now, that in the upcoming heat race, Billy Baylog is going to be a scratch for the week. They found engine problems after their hot lap sessions, and they cannot get an engine just yet. So he also posted on social media, but Bill Baylog is done for the week.
Saw him pull off after a lap or 2 of hot laps. Didn't see smoke, didn't see anything like that, but into the infield and up, and boy, that car has been snake bit a little bit over the last few years.
Well, here we go. Heat race number 5, the one many of us had circled as an absolute loaded heat race, is led off by Mr. Triple Crown, Jerry Coons Jr., Eric Blummer to his outside. Paul White, the veteran, will start 3rd. Zach Weigel, Chili Bowl rookie, outside of him in row number 2. Then it's Brent Cruz and Trevor Klein, 2 former Millbridge racers, joining row number 3 with Carter Chevalier and Mr. Monday Night Cannon McIntosh coming from 8th. This one's going to be exciting. Absolutely. People sometimes overlook Paul White, but if that racetrack has moisture on the bottom, he's going to find it and make some positions up. Be curious to see what Brent Cruz does, how patient he is. He loves to rip the lip here, but he's going to have to be patient here on the start inside row number 3.
Coons versus Blummer front row. Coons nails it through 1 and 2. He's got the early lead, and there's White fighting up the inside, trying to take 2nd away early. Coons and White 1 and 2. Weigel to the high side, looking for 3rd and on the hunt for 2nd.
How about Trevor Klein? He passed 2 on the outside in that 55. His first car to the outside as he follows Zach Weigel off of 4. So a couple cars here moving their way to the front. Klein looking to circle the wagons around Paul White. He will off of 2, and he's looking for Weigel for P2.
Had a big move, found a lot of forward bite going forward as the hunt is on for the 2nd place. Down low is Weigel in the red and white 89. Trevor Klein on the high side. Closing in on him at the top of 3. We got a race for the 2nd place. Coming down the front straight away at the halfway point.
Yeah, 6-2, if he can get it, would be huge. He may get the run off of turn 2, Clinton.
Yeah, we got a really big battle back here for 5th. Now 4th with Brent Cruz trying to get under Paul White. And he's trying to bring Cannon McIntosh with him, who's been quiet at the back of the field so far.
McIntosh, Mr. Monday Night, struggling so far in this heat race. Could pick up a spot here, down to the bottom, and McIntosh and Cruz, the 71 cars together, McIntosh up and over.
A Monday night favorite up on his lid here in heat race number 5, battling Brent Cruz to the inside at turn number 3. Cruz kept his foot in it, able to can pull away, but Cannon McIntosh left upside down, and
I think Cannon's at the point of his heat race where he knew he needed that spot. He needed it badly, and you're not going to get a lot of opportunities to get around Brent Cruz as good as Brent is.
Well, and guys, he's got a flat right rear, and that's going to be tough to change in a short amount of time as we get a look at our Rybox Springs instant replay.
Cruz tagged the wall, opened the door for McIntosh, and just not enough room to execute the pass. We'll look at it from the infield.
The other thing we should get a peek at here is how's Brent Cruz's header, because that's what's going to cut the right rear Cannon McIntosh. See, it's flat when he flips over, but did that close off Brent Cruz's header at all? And you see right there, the word got passed on with the flat right rear, and he's going to be off on the hook. And, I mean, lineup set. I can't imagine you have any sort of time to go change it.
And there's a look at Brent Cruz, the header. I don't
small crease in it, but it seems okay.
Not closed off by any means.
Guys, I can tell you real quick, the KKM guys are ready. They just came flying by me with an air tank and a wheel wrench. So we knew they would be ready. They're going to be down there ready to try and get this thing changed.
So they're going to have to break the wheel nut off and get the old tire,
the mud
wheel
cover
and
is
tire
going to be the
off
issue.
first.
We got a 3-bolt mud cover, and that's really going to take some time to blow that thing off here. And there's Cannon stopped.
So the process begins, but again, no guaranteed time in the work area during these heat races. Once the lineup is sent, cone's been already placed on the front straightaway. We'll see if the lights go out this time, but yeah, don't even have the tire off, just right now getting the nut off.
And I do wonder, I wasn't at the driver's meeting today, but I do wonder if you get 60 seconds in the work area, which I've heard back and forth about you do. I just didn't know when that would start. And I mean, it appears to be that guys are getting a little bit of time here in the work area.
Watching
wheel nuts on.
Watching the officials, they're looking over at the work.
At this point, with a couple of laps to go, with the wheel cover on.
I mean, they must be getting time in the work area because they were sticking the bleeder in there. So, you know, taking the time to go ahead and do that.
All right, so McIntosh, the ship is not sunk yet.
No, he was only one position ahead of where he's restarting anyways. He's restarting in 8th, and he was in 6th. So
you can at least pick off 2 or 3. I mean, that's an absolute save of your night.
You're back to where you were.
Yeah.
He's got 3 to move forward. And who knows, maybe somebody else up in front of him makes a big boo-boo. We see another yellow flag before this is over.
Brent Cruz still needs a spot or 2 also.
He does.
So Coons Jr. brings us back to green. Weigel and Klein had been warring for position 2. Down to the low side, there goes Cruz looking for 3rd. Somebody's engine doesn't sound super healthy out there. We're down to 2 to go.
How about Trevor Klein? That got really tight off at turn 3 and 4, opening the door for Brent Cruz, looking for 3rd underneath Klein. Down the back straightaway. And Klein's gonna hold on, and Cruz overcooks it into 3 and 4. Gets tagged from the rear, and upside down he goes. Little Tommy tip over, but man, 2 heavy hitters having problems in heat race number 5.
Well, and check this out, guys. The last time they crossed the line, Ken McIntosh was 5th. That's gonna put him 4th. Grabbing.
It's never over until it's over.
Yeah.
So we'll get a second look at this here from Eibach. Big thank you to them. Into the corner they go, and Cruz, too tight inside, gets shot at the very end by Chevalier.
Clint just seems kind of uncharacteristic mistakes by some of these guys. And it's really technical up there.
Yeah, getting into 3 is super technical. Brent kind of cheated what we call the cushion, and there's not a lot to catch you. And this Expo Raceway slick is really slick, and when you come across, there's only so much that your tires can grab onto. So not a normal thing you'd see out of a driver the caliber of Brent Cruz, but we're down to 2 laps for him to try to rebound, and we saw Cannon start to do good. And I think the best thing to happen for Cannon may have been him just get away from Brent Cruz so they weren't racing each other and they can start working on other cars.
Well, Cannon can come up and try to throw a Hail Mary. At this point in time, we know Klein's going to try to race with Weigel. If he gets himself a good restart, that'll put Cannon in a position to maybe sneak one of them, 2 of them, if he can get a monster run here at the end. Out front, Jerry Kuhn says, yes, please, stay racing back there. That'll be fine. Back to green. Cannon's going to go to the bottom on Klein. Klein lane blocked up top. As down to the low side, white flag one more time around.
Trevor Klein just trying to hang on, left the bottom open this side in 1 and 2. Is going to have the run, though. Klein does, and he'll protect in 3 and 4. Off of 4, Jerry Coons Jr. is going to win it, battle for 3rd at the line, and give it to Trevor Klein. So McIntosh salvages a 4th place finish. As you take a look at your finishing order, Coons Jr. winning from the pole. But Trevor Klein, a 6-3 run.
Weigel 4-2, also very good. And then McIntosh 8-4. So entire outside lane there, outside of your outside row 1, picked up some points.
8-4 is 99 points for Cannon McIntosh. That's still, plenty good into the invert into a qualifier. And can go to work now in the qualifier and still capitalize on a really good night.
So that would put, what, Klein at 106, 6-3?
6-3, you're 101.
101, and then Weigel is going to be 103?
103, correct. So there is a host of drivers in that 100 to 105 range, but it's still unofficially Cap Henry with the 111 high points through 5 heat races, still 3 to go. As you take a look at the NOS Energy Drink Ramp Cam, let's go up top. Chris Moore with the K1 Race Gear interview.
Yeah, veteran here in the building, Jerry Coons Jr. Jerry, you get a loaded heat race like that, you're starting on the pole, and then you get all those yellows. Is that frustrating when you're out front?
A little bit, especially that last one when you're coming to white or whatever it is. It's close, and I didn't hear anybody behind me, so I thought we had something there. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm sure at this point you've probably seen everything in this building. How'd you feel about your race car?
It's actually real good. I was surprised. They said I think we were 3rd overall in practice earlier, and kind of shocked because I felt kind of free there. But no, I tell you, the car felt really good out there. We obviously made some adjustments and so forth, and made some shock adjustments when I rolled out on the racetrack. But that was good. Like I said, it was kind of protecting the bottom there, and after that yell, I could tell the top was kind of coming in, at least on 1 and 2, and kind of figured if they weren't going to follow me, they were going to pass me, move. So I needed to move too, and jumped up there, and it seemed pretty good up there.
All right, good luck.
All right, thank you.
There you go, guys. Jerry Coons Jr., a loaded heat race. He gets it done from the pole.
Yeah, always well-spoken Jerry Coons Jr.
Update on the work gear rules. You look at lineup for heat number 6. 60 seconds before halfway in a race is the rule. So,
okay.
Yeah, Cannon with 3 laps to go there. Yeah.
Jaden Clay and Briggs Danner, Trey Marcham, John Bernard, Bill Baylog, and Roger Crockett, Brecken Reese and Tanner Carrick. And we know Baylog will not make the call, so that'll shuffle Reese up to a 5th place starting spot. Carrick then, I believe, would be gauged to be going off 7th.
Again, a lot of talent in this one as well when you kind of look at Trey Marcham and what he's been able to do on prelim nights. And Briggs Danner, the young phenom for Alex Bowman in that 55i outside of the front row. Heat race number 6 is green.
Through the middle, there goes Danner. He's got the early lead. Marcham with a shot to get underneath Jaden Clay. A couple of Oklahomans battling for position number 2, and give it to Marcham at the conclusion of lap number 1. Back down low goes Clay, looking to take it back away from him. Can't make the pass. Barnard, now Carrick into 5th already. Carrick looking low. He wants 4th from Barnard. Barnard driving away and going up to the high side, looking to get it from Clay, who's sitting in 3rd.
Carrick just going where they're not right now. As soon as the lane opens, he'll take advantage as Carrick, little contact there, but makes his way through. Roger Crockett out of the gas, and now Carrick advances up to 4th, and he's not done. Quickly to the back bumper of Jaden Clay as they fight for bottom real estate in 3 and 4 underneath Clay. Not this time, but Carrick now will try the high side in 1 and 2.
Carrick got to the top of 1 and 2 the last time around, and he looks really good up there as he circles the wagons up and around Clay. He goes 7-3 for Tanner Carrick with some time to try to run down Marcham and Danner, although we're down to 3 to go. There's not much of it left.
No, there's not, and the gap is just a little bit too big. May need a yellow here, but Briggs Danner's absolutely walked away from the rest of this heat race field. A full straightaway advantage in the ABR Racing 55i, so we'll come across the start-finish line and see the white flag.
I don't think we're done for second yet, guys.
Carrick was 2/10 faster than Marcham that last time by. There's going to have a shot here in 3 and 4.
Big run out of 2. Is it enough? As Danner's going to take the win. Here is for the runner-up position. Marcham's going to hang on. Tanner Carrick, though, a good charge and good scoring effort from 7-3.
So a 7-3 run for Tanner Carrick is 106. So that'll vault him well inside the top 10 in points, again unofficially.
3rd.
Yes, 3rd to Cap Henry and Kyle Larson. So really good run for Tanner Carrick.
NOS Energy Drink Ramp Cam with 2 heat races left to go as they will continue firing off. Don't forget, here on the Monday night program, we do have the O'Reilly Invitational Race of Champion, the ROC coming up. Hot laps and qualifying for that due up on the program shortly. And the 25-lap ROC main event later on in the show. Logan Seavey, the defending champion of that. Will be our first chance to see the defending champ, as we've got a K1 Race Gear interview up top with Earl Hoon Jr.
Yeah, I got Briggs Danner here with me, guys. Briggs, you were able to win that heat race by over 2.5 seconds, right? So you had a lot of speed in the beginning of the night, got speed in here. Do you think this heat race win is going to get you into a qualifier?
Yeah, I think so. We got to take advantage of starting spots that we have, you know, just being able to get out to the lead early, and winning that heat race was huge. Second wouldn't do us very well. So looking forward to the qualifier, probably start roughly in the same spot and hopefully do it again.
Briggs Danner right now, guys, is batting 1,000 so far in night number 1 of the Chili Bowl. And man, what a great story he has, as we'll send it over to Chris Moore.
Yeah, thank you, Earl. I got Tanner Carrick here. Tanner, we've been talking a lot about, you know, all the guys that are running tonight, and feels like your name's kind of gone under the radar. Do you feel like now going to third in points so far that you got an opportunity to show that this is still your night?
Yeah, for sure. We got a fast race car. I needed the yellow there. We were better than the 32. Just got to his back bumper coming to the white, and I knew he was kind of blocking in 3 and 4, but we had a really good race car. Just couldn't get a good enough run to get by him coming to the white in 1 and 2. But track's not the best trying to pass this many cars. It's kind of tough, but we got a good race car and go to this qualifier and try to pass a few cars there. Hopefully they'll work on the track a little bit, and we can move forward in our qualifier and put ourselves a little better than starting 4th last year in the main. That way we don't have to work so hard to get around these fast cars. But Keith works his butt off and gives me a great race car every time I come here, and if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be running up front.
All right, there you go, guys. Tanner Carrick. Good news as well. He doesn't have to go to work this week like he did last year.
I was about to say
those are the best weeks.
Exactly. He had to go home, back to California last year. Gets to stay with us all week as Caleb Heat's 7 of 8 on the racetrack.
Maverick Elkins and Briley Kilmer are going to go one-on-one off the front row. Josh Balicki and Luke Storer in row number 2. Alex Cogley, he had the big flip in hot laps. David Camfield Sr. in row 3. Shane Golobic inside row 4, and Jack Potter, the 305 sprint car driver, going to go next to him for 8 cars. And I would bet you we end up at 7 or maybe less.
That's your pole setter, Maverick Elkins, heading back up the ramp right here.
Guys, real quick, I just ran over to Maverick Elkins. Doesn't know what's wrong. He just said it won't fire.
Thanks, Chris, for the
Luke
hustle.
Storer 3,
yep.
Camfield 4, Golobic 5, Potter 6.
Big change up here for Shane Golobic.
7-1 would have been awfully nice for him. Let's see if he can 5-1. That would still put him way ahead.
Yeah.
Josh Balicki going way upstairs, driving his way around, and opens up a couple of car lengths down the back straightaway. Balicki to your early lead off the top of the racetrack.
Yeah, Kilmer got crossed up in turn 2, and Balicki's just going to try to run away and hide. Meanwhile, a little bit farther back, David Canfield Sr. in the 86C up to 3rd. Try to roll the bottom, but missed it here, and here comes Luke Storer in that second opinion 2W.
Look out, Shane Golobic finds his way around Camfield. Oh. Big run around Storer. He's going to slingshot his way into 3rd with ease. Now coming up on Kilmer. Kilmer's been really good in the karting world, trying to make that translate, though, up into a midget in her first Chili Bowl. And Shane Golobic, one of the best, putting the right rear on the cushion, letting it eat.
Jack Potter to the infield. That one sounded like it blew up. We stayed green, and Kilmer's got company here with Golobic, who's going to go right around the outside. And Golubic's going to have an opportunity here for the lead. Slider across the nose of Josh Balicki, and there goes Sugar Shane to the point.
All he's got to do is hang on, and he has got high point with a bullet. Just one heat race to go to follow it. So Shane Golobic doing what he had to do here in the heat race. Down to 2 to go. It'll be a 120-point effort for Shane. Meanwhile, here's Storer. Going to use the high side, hike in the left front. Harkening to the speed car days in Australia. Can he get one more spot here? It is going to be Golobic getting the W. Balicki is 2nd. Coming down to it at the end. Kilmer, and then Storer, then Camfield.
So 5-1 for Shane Golobic. Remember, off the initial green, not scheduled green, is 120 points, and you're looking at your new high point man here on Second Opinion Auto qualifying night. Monday here at the Chili Bowl. A lot of people had him circled as can he finally get a prelim win, and boy, he's off to a good start.
He has been second and third so many times.
Yes. He's got 8 top 5 finishes in the last 9 prelim starts, 4 of those runner-ups.
Yeah.
He's due. He's due. Take a look at the Flying A Motorsports pit cam. All is quiet for now.
One heat race to go. Heat race number 8 will be the final one of the night, and it'll feature a bunch of veterans here within the building and a couple of youngsters whose names we haven't had a big chance to talk about yet. Our 8th and final heat race of the night before we move into C-Mains and qualifiers, and of course, Race of Champions, hot laps and qualifying combined. Hot laps and qualifying. Big thank you to Flying A Motorsports providing us our pit cam here on FloRacing. And again, very tame back there, just almost too quiet earlier walking in and around, but the anticipation is growing as we're going to have nearly 400 drivers here in the building. Let's take things up top. K1 Race Gear interview.
Yeah, here he is, guys. I've got the man, new high point man, Shane Golobic. You've done this so much, been so close to victory lane here. You feel like tonight's the night. Maybe you can get over the hump and get on the top step.
Yeah, I hope so. I think we've got a little work to do yet. Feel like we got a little behind on the race car, but you know, we do this once a year. We're just trying to get back in the swing of things. It's been a little while, so I know my guys will give me a good car. We'll work on it here a little bit. Qualifier is going to be a little tougher to make moves, so we'll see. I know my NOS Energy Drink guys are working really hard this week. Everybody's stepping up in the absence of my brother here this year, so looking forward to starting deep in a qualifier. Lots of passing point opportunities, so yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, good luck.
Thanks.
There you go, guys. You mentioned it. Shane Golobic, a steadfast up front runner in this building, looking to grab that first checkered flag.
No matter what, you're now fairly certain he's going off row 3 in a qualifier. So he's going to have some opportunity to make up even more points in that and further his advantage. As you got Brian Schwabauer and Gary Taylor in row 1, Joby Miller, Daniel Adler in row 2, Ryan Timmons, Kevin Battlefield in row 3, Hayden Wise, and Charlie Loudon making up row number 4.
I'm just really curious to see how the top 24 invert's going to fall, because there is a whole host of drivers that are going to be flirting around that 24th place cutoff. The points still opportunity here for some drivers to make up some big positions. Joe B, if he can go 3-1.
Anybody to beat Golobic, if they're going to win it, has to go from 6-1 forward.
Green flag is out. GT going to try to take a page what Nick Hoffman did in his heat race around the outside of the point. And the Mike Bryan Dunlap performance entry.
Miller cuts his way into second, and Adler going to try to follow him around the high groove up top. Schwabauer stuck down on the bottom as Adler sticking a nose in, gets narrow down there in a hurry. Schwabauer holds on to the spot. Adler swinging back to the top side of 1 and 2.
Hayden Wise doing a nice job from 7th. Trying to challenge for 5th in her rookie Chili Bowl debut, but everybody wrapped around the bottom of the racetrack here in this final heat race. Who's going to challenge the top side? Deep in the field, Charlie Loudon thought about it, but we've got a battle for a lead here at the halfway point. Here comes Joe B. Miller to the back bumper of Gary Taylor.
Down the back straightaway at the halfway point, Joe B. wants one more spot. GT knows the value here of hanging on. 105 is going to be a really good score if Gary can keep it. Miller, one more spot would put him at 110, and that's going to be in the back row of a qualifier as well. Working low on Taylor with 2 to go. A good battle up front.
Just smooth laps for Gary Taylor, just trying to take the line away. Joe B having to search a little bit. Going to dive it to the bottom of turns 3 and 4. Off the corner, white flag is out. Gary Taylor trying to hang on. Joe B to the bottom this time with a slider. Will he complete it?
Taylor with the monster run off the high side. Brings it down in turn number 3 to play a little defense. Off the top comes Joe B, but Taylor, brilliant defensive move late.
Yeah.
He had done it the lap before, got right back down there and doesn't let Joe B sneak underneath. to hang on to the win. GT over Miller, Schwabauer over Adler. Wise comes from 7th to 5th. Timmons, Battlefield, and Loudon is how they run.
That is a veteran performance for Gary Taylor.
Yeah, Joe B did a good job to get Gary Taylor to move around, but Gary just didn't make a mistake even while he was kind of searching around trying to figure out what line Joe B had been running. So great job by both of those guys to, you know, cat and mouse there for a 1-2 finish.
And this heat races on night 1 are done.
Yeah.
So taking a look at what we have coming up, heat races all done. We will get Race of Champions, Hot Laps, and Qualifying as our next on-track event. Donnie Ray Crawford Legacy Foundation 2-seater on the track. Rolling around. I believe we were supposed to see Jenny Ward in this at some point in time today.
I heard the rumor. We'll see if it comes true.
Let's kick things up top. Earl Hoon's got our K1 Race Gear interview.
Yeah, I got Gary Taylor here, dude. I just told you, man, seems like you had to play a little bit of defense out there with Joe B. Miller.
I did. He was rolling really good around the bottom. The races before me, I saw guys kind of using a lot of the track, and I was just trying to kind of connect the dots with the moisture and keep my momentum up. Apparently, he was sticking the bottom really well. I'm thankful it was Joe B. and not 99% of the other guys here, because they probably would have cleaned me out. So thankful for Mike and Brian Dunlap letting me run their stuff again, and we got to get better here for the qualifier. So
I was going to ask you, besides playing defense, how did this car feel out there? What kind of changes do you have to make before going in the qualifier?
You just got to snug up a little bit everywhere. It blew off pretty quickly here tonight. There's little pockets of moisture, but for the most part, it's really dry right now. So we just got to take a little bigger swing for the next go and be better.
Guys, how about it? GT gonna get a heat race win.
So we get set to go for our first group. Christopher Bell, Dason Pursley, 2 warm-up laps, then 3 on the clock. They take your best time here in O'Reilly Invitational Race of Champions qualifying.
Both drivers going to go up to the high side here. The idea is to be at least top 8 or better after their qualifying laps. Set them up for an up-front starting spot in the Race of Champions. Green flag is out. The lap officially began that time around for both Bell and Pursley. Pursley up bouncing around the cushion. Here is lap number 1. Bell 11.9, 11.93, and Pursley triple 8s on the board for him.
So right around where we ended hot laps, it was a mid 11.8. And Bell just not able to eclipse, barely off the mark at the top spot, but Pursley goes quicker on lap 2. Final lap around for Bell. We'll see what he has left in the tank. As the checkered flag waves, cannot pass Pursley, but Pursley slows down on lap number 3. So lap number 2, his best, 11.820.
Bell did go to the bottom of 3 and 4 that last lap, and that was his fastest lap. So something to keep an eye on for these guys.
Next up, it is the 2-time and defending Chili Bowl champion and the Race of Champions defending champ, Logan Seavey. And pairing with him, Kyle Larson, the 2-time Chili Bowl champion in 2020 and 2021. Picked up a couple of Golden Drillers the Tulsa Shootout 2 weeks ago. They will be your next qualifiers. Seavey in that car being wrenched on by Kevin Swindell. Joint effort between Swindell and Tim Bertrand for the last 2 Chili Bowl championships that they have fielded.
What a partnership that's become. And Tim and Kara's wife, also owners of Sammy's 2 cars as well. As the green flag will come out, I believe, next time around.
Right here for Seavey.
So first on the clock will be Logan Seavey. Remember last year, didn't look super impressive until we got to the race and then on Friday. So can he come out of the gate swinging here with a big lap? Lap number 1 for Seavey.
11.860 sets him second quick of the 3. Larson 12.1. A little further off the pace than I think he would want to be.
Yeah. Back around the top this time for Seavey. Still second quick.
11.4 and 11.98. So Larson picks up the pace, and Larson now off the pace as he has flipped the visor, and he's going to be ducking in. And an 11.841 for CV second quick.
2100's the difference between Persley and CV. As Dayson survives another round of qualifying as we welcome our next two drivers to the racetrack. Tanner Thorson, the 88 machine.
Your 2022 Chili Bowl Nationals champion. And the guy last year that was oh so close.
Yeah.
Buddy Kofoid, a lot of the betting favorites coming into this week, driving the Mobile 171 for Keith Kuntz Motorsports. Buddy is a really good qualifier.
Yes.
So let's keep our eyes out on him. Although not something that we've done for many years here at the Chili Bowl Nationals. Qualifying of any sorts. This time by, green flag will be in the air, I believe. Nope, not yet.
And of course, this is a different car for Buddy than the Mobile One, the silver Mobile One that he has for his Monday night prelim night here. So special Race of Champions car as he big time moment in 3 and 4. That'll hurt that opening lap.
Thorson, we've talked about pretty extensively. Master of the coilover suspension on all 4 corners of that. Boy, Tanner looks really smooth.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are bouncing a bit and getting in through the cushion. Thorson, that shows 11.78.
Hold on, that's Cannon McIntosh, guys. In the
I was going to
71K.
say.
Is it? Okay.
Buddy's car's still the silver Mobile One.
So Cannon with a different ride here for the Race of Champions. So McIntosh is 6th. Tanner Thorson still riding the top with a 772, and he'll take his best lap with being an 11.763.
Our apologies on that one, but doesn't change the fact that Tanner Thorson's now the fastest guy on the racetrack.
No kidding. He takes so much pride in building his cars and being so hands-on, and his midget program, he was the pridefulness too of winning a Chili Bowl with your own stuff.
Very much so. On this run, we can tell you it's Brad Sweet, the 3, and Sunshine, Tyler Courtney in the 23.
Sweet's first laps today coming here in these 2 warm-up laps before qualifying after getting the battery changed. And for Sunshine, an opportunity to team up again with his buddy Kyle Larson running for Paul Silva here at the Chili Bowl. Oh, Brad Sweet had a moment off of turn 4.
This is after Brad Sweet's been out of a midget for a while also, guys.
Really squaring turn 4 off quite a bit is Sweet. What that does for lap times coming up. We should start to see some registering as the green flag is out for Sunshine in the 23. Look out, Brad. Gathered her back together, but quite the hop off the cushion.
Yeah, tried to slide across 3 into 4 and didn't work out for him. Sunshine's 7th quick out of 8.
Brad's second lap, 0.6 of a second better, but still in the 12-second bracket.
Oh, Brad got super tight up there on the cushion.
Checkered flag, that was the last time by for him. Courtney really flying the front end at the end, but 12-2. All right, so bump process begins now for potential drivers into the top 8. We will watch Corey Day in the 41.
It's been difficult qualifying for some of these guys here in the Race of Champions qualifying session. Racetrack obviously moving up a little bit. There is some slick parts or some moisture patches. You gotta really be in tune with what you're doing and be consistent as much as you can, as Brady Bacon and Corey Day, newly signed Hendrick Motorsports development driver, a multi-year deal for Corey. The hot shoe out of California, now calling Mooresville, North Carolina home, just moved about a week and a half ago.
Guys, that cushion's starting to get nasty. Brady and Corey both having some issues on their warm-up laps. Getting going.
Oh, man.
Just
Corey.
Absolutely laying it on the line. Fighting for it, though. Should be green this time by for Brady.
First lap on the clock begins.
we saw the slide job line get pretty popular at the end of the shootout. We're starting to see it right here in the Race of Champions. Guys trying in 3 and 4, just sliding across to the exit of 4.
Oh, problem for Brady. Well, at least it looks like a problem, but those brake rotors absolutely glowing, and whew, I don't know, they locked up on him or something.
Corey Day got to 11.8 on that first time by.
Oh, big moment for Corey off 2. Bikes it, bounces, and he's not even gonna run his last lap.
Yeah, Corey just says, that's enough. Checkered flag waves. Day ends up 5th quick. And
So
Brady
these guys are laying it all out on the line for this qualifying session. It's qualifying inside this building is awesome.
Yeah.
10 drivers into this, and there have been some uh-oh moments already.
Yeah.
Sometimes after watching this, Clint, I almost wish we do single car qualifying or
Oh,
qualifying for our prelim nights.
I wish it was single car qualifying.
Yeah.
Let's go. We'll start at noon. Let's do it.
Well, we get our first look, or second look at Justin Grant, CB Industries 87. And Cody Swanson at the Mission Foods, Dan Binks entry.
Now I want some nachos. Right? Oh, Mission Foods tortilla chips, some cheese. Throw them in the microwave for a minute and a half.
Cody Swanson, of course, what a comeback, too, from surgery on his foot to winning a USAC Silver Crown Championship for an 8th time.
So, Grant, there's the slider line you were talking about, Clinton, through 3 and 4. Looking for safe passage.
We saw a few guys do it and didn't lose any time. You know, I don't know that it helps you on your following lap time-wise, but I think if you're going to do that at the end of your lap, it's not a bad way to go. You see, like, creates a difficult way to get off turn 4 from Justin right there. And, yeah, just tricky to figure out, you know, how you want to go about it.
12.090, the best for Grant on his opening circuit. Swanson is 12 of 12 with a 12.291.
Cody Swanson, a guy that probably hasn't ran a cushion all year long, you know, between the Silver Crown cars and pavement. Not a guy that has to get up there and rip it, so these laps are really valuable for him, but looks smooth. Just not all the speed.
So best out of the duo, again, Justin Grant, 9th quick, as the times just continue to go the other direction.
So Sweet at a 12.0, still sitting there at 8th quick. I would not have called that this far into it, but he's got it for the time being.
Yeah, the moisture underneath those cushions is starting to wear off. You can see just a little bit of blue right there, and that's going to make it harder and harder for these guys to find a line or have any sort of grip before they just smash into the curb.
These are going to be some pretty valuable laps for Tanner Carrick in the 98. Winner of Monday night last year. He's in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. Should be Ricky Thornton Jr. in the bottom right.
The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series champion, Castrol FloRacing Night in America champion this year.
Carrick trying out the bottom of 3 and 4 on these warm-up laps. I don't hate that. We saw Christopher Bell go down there and ran, you know, really solid lap, and I think that's a possibility for someone that's looking to find a different way around the racetrack other than the cushion.
RTJ just about counted the bulbs on the ceiling of the SageNet Center, picking up the front end on that last lap. Still running the top. Carrick back on the top in 3 and 4.
First lap on the clock starts now. Carrick will be the first one to register. Tanner really hasn't had that oh dear God moment on the cushion yet, but he's at a 12.403, a lot of room to improve.
Yeah. Where do you balance the line of how hard do I push it for this, or do I not push it for the rest of the night?
Yeah, for Carrick, right, you got to get through the rest of your night.
White flag is out. Carrick's still down there in 14th. RTJ 13th. Both in the mid 12-second range. 12.3 for RTJ, 12.4 for Carrick.
Liner on the inside of the track produced a 12.46 for Tanner Carrick, and maybe somebody else comes out and gives her a dedicated shot. I don't know how it works, but certainly the top isn't getting any faster at this point.
So Tanner Thorson, Dason Percy, Logan Seavey, your top 3. Top 4 all separated less than a 1/10 of a second. As you look at Kaylee Bryson, boy, what a season for her. First female USAC Silver Crown winner this year, TA2 champion.
Trans Am champ. Oh, what a run for Kaylee Rice.
First female to do that as well. And of course, teaming back up here with Abacus Racing, former national midget champions with Logan Seavey. And also Spencer Baston, prelim night winner.
If anybody here in the back 4 is going to get in, I think Spencer's got a great shot. That car makes a lot of speed.
Spencer, a very accomplished midget driver, always exciting to watch inside these, Race of Champions, the lock-in qualifying. He seems to find a way to make things interesting.
Yeah. Green flag run starts. Baston will be the first one to log a time here. Front end flying on Spencer's car as he comes down and through. 14th on the field at 12.370. Kaylee comes in at 12.431.
Spencer's probably looked the best of the last 3 or 4 groups of running the top, especially in 3 and 4, but
just got to 10th at 12.198, but he's really gonna have to sell out here on the last lap. Got to pick up 2 tenths. Can he do it? Does not. 12.14 again. Bryson at the end, 12.450. So 3 to go. We haven't seen Sammy yet.
Haven't seen Buddy yet, and I believe Ryan Timms.
And we will get Timms and Sammy here.
Sammy's anxious. So let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
It's a good looking race car. Him and Jordan Mallett making his rookie appearance in the sister car to Sammy's. Sammy's spoken very highly of him, saying, I've got a guy with a hunger and a desire. Wing 360 driver, but Sammy's trying to improve on his qualifying efforts here the last couple of years, the Race of Champions. Ryan Timms, of course, came close to a prelim win last year.
Not the best pill draw for Sammy.
No.
Pill draw is how we determine this qualifying order.
At the same time, there is more speed in that car than we've seen in a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's getting into the track and digging.
Green flag is out.
So don't necessarily judge the speed of this lap compared to the field to what the actual car speed is. Like, it's been a while since we've seen Sammy digging hard enough to fly the front end in the air without, biking it up on the cushion.
15th, 12.393. And Ryan Timms, as he comes across the start and finish line. Where did Timms end up?
12.4.
12.
.12.3 again for Sammy. All right, 1 left. And then there was Buddy Kofoid. So Buddy Kofoid, driver of the Roth Enterprises 83 car out on the Travel and Sprint Car Tour in Outlaw last year. Back half of his season just lit on fire as Kofoid ran through a streak where he looked unbeatable. Ran second for the bulk of last year's Chili Bowl Nationals. Buddy Kofoid down the back straightaway. The only one on the track, has it all to himself. I said it earlier, he is a monster qualifier. Can he find some speed where nobody else has been able to here over the past 5 minutes? Qualifying lap will begin this time by at the drop of the green flag in the front straightaway.
Talking with Buddy earlier today, he relishes this role of constantly being in this building and being viewed as a favorite, if not one of the favorites each and every year to take home a driller, let alone a Race of Champions win. And
ooh,
how about that?
12.08, 7/100ths away from knocking Sweet out of the top 8. Kofoid, second lap has generally been better. It will be 12.028. Still on the outside looking in by 1/100th of a second.
He's got to absolutely send it here. front end, hikes in the air. Can he get it? Oh, he had to burp the throttle.
Identical lap. 0:28 at the finish.
Also, how about the pressure being the only one on the racetrack? But Buddy Kofoid 9th, 12:028.
Doesn't get there.
Yeah.
All right, so your top 8, the guys eligible for the invert: Brad Sweet and Kyle Larson, Cannon McIntosh and Corey Day, Christopher Bell and Logan Seavey, Dazen Pursley, and your quick time for the Race of Champions going to be Tanner Thorson. Thorson will draw the pill that determines where they will invert for the 25-lap ROC coming up a little bit later on, the O'Reilly Auto Parts Invitational Race of Champions.
Earl Hoon Jr. standing by at the top of the ramp with the K1 Race Gear interview.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Got Corey Day here. And, dude, you had a big moment out there. Walk me through it.
Yeah, for sure. Just, you know, in a qualifying session like that, you try and get everything you can get. And, you know, that was my final lap. I saw I was on the board, so I tried to get everything I get there. And it's just a little crumbly on top of the cushion. It's not, you know, real fluffy, and there's not a lot of grip. So I hammered it into one there pretty hard, and I was going the wrong way off too. So.
You're going to have the big 2025 racing season coming up, right? And you were able to put on social media with Jeff Gordon sitting next to you, Rick Hendrick also in the building. You signing some big papers to join the Rick Hendrick team.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. I've been telling a lot of people, if you'd asked me 2 years ago if I'd be, you know, in the pavement world, I'd tell you you're crazy. The dirt deal was always, you know, my dream, and, you know, as far as I thought I was going to go. So for, you know, Jeff and Mr. H and Jeff Andrews and Kyle to all vouch for me and, you know, say I could hopefully be in a pavement car one day, that's awesome for, you know, a kid who grew up watching those guys.
Guys, big plans on the docket for this young driver. Can't wait to see what he has here in the Race of Champions. Well, folks, we thank you so very much for tuning in here to FloRacing for night number 1 of the 39th running of the Chili Bowl Nationals, brought to you by NOS Energy Drink. When we're going to take a short break, coming back, we've got more action here on FloRacing.
We've got our first of the C features on track. Paul White and Jack Potter make up row number 1. Brent Cruz and Devin Dobie in row 2. Kevin Newton and Brandon Carr in row number 3. Kevin Battlefield and Jim Van Zandt in row number 4. Danny Fry and Todd Jackson in row 5. Jamison Spies and Dakota Hiley are making up row number 6. And Maverick Elkins is the Lone Ranger in the back row. If he makes the call, he'll be our 13th place starter in this one.
Gotta have oil pressure.
Help me out on the reminder here in this one. If you attempt to run, you do not get another shot at a qualifying night. You draw in, you attempt to go onto the racetrack.
It's as soon as you draw. You don't even have to attempt to go on the racetrack.
All right, so Maverick is done. He is early morning wake-up call for Saturday morning.
Even Bill Baylog, he didn't even hot lap, right? But he drew in, so you're done.
C feature number 1, Paul White, Jack Potter, and we're underway looking for 4. Stacked up in 1 and 2. Here's Brent Cruz around the outside into 2nd. And he's going to want the lead here as
Kevin Newton
just scooting his way on through. How about that? Scooting Newton.
Looking good down there in the low groove as well. There goes Cruz. What's your word? High, wide, and handsome? I like it. High, wide, and handsome around the outside. I'll pay the royalty later.
Oh, you're all good.
All right.
It bit him earlier, but so far so good for Brent Cruz. He'll just use the rest of this as a test session. But I'm watching Kevin Newton. Has that 16 car just wrapped on the bottom, and he's got 2nd at the line. Paul White shuffled back to 3rd. Devin Dobie, the last car in. We'll keep an eye on that transfer spot as Paul White looks to try to rally the troops, but Kevin Newton starts to pull away. There's the battle for the transfer spot. 14K Brandon Carr on the charge.
If you guys lose your place or forget what we told you, the little yellow box around the position that they're in on our ticker are the transfer position cars. If they're outside of that, they're going to the trailer early at the conclusion of the race, but we've got a caution out.
I believe
it's
that's Dakota Hiley, yeah.
Dakota Hiley around.
It's been a rough Monday for Dakota. Member was involved, I believe, upside down, had the front end ripped off that 8 car.
Good to see they got the front end replaced, but unfortunately, you're right, facing the wrong direction, and time not on Dakota's side with 7 laps to go here in this C, almost halfway through. So it'll be Cruz, Newton, White, and Dobie. Transfer position cars when we get back to her.
Brandon Carr looked like that car came to life the last couple laps, started to close in on Devin Dobie, so we'll keep an eye on that transfer battle.
Danny Fry is up to 6th from the 9th starting position, and He's one that can definitely go roll the bottom of this racetrack really well also. Still got 7 laps to find 2 positions.
At this point in time, passing points, where they started, doesn't matter. It's all about where you finish, though. It's an elimination race. If you don't move forward, you're done for the night.
Yep.
So, got to get top 4. He said Fry looking pretty good and doing a good job. Little bit of time left, but certainly can't dilly-dally.
And Danny Fry had that, you know, right rear of steel. We saw him thunder the wall in his heat race. Kept going. Had opportunities for passing points in his heat race. Go by the wayside. Looked sitting 2 spots out as we get set. Should go lights out next time by. Still 7 to go. Plenty of time.
Still haven't fired the Hiley car back off yet. It is stuck. Well, hook it and send it, guys. If it won't roll, move it forward.
I don't like the angle we're lining up here.
Yeah, this is...
But I feel like the car's potentially stuck in gear. We just need to back
How
up.
many officials does it take
Hey,
to get it out of gear?
there we are. 2, 3, 5 of them.
Yeah.
Now we got cars coming at him. Oh boy. This feels very C-main-ish.
Truer words never spoken.
That checks out. All right. Finally going to get Dakota car refired.
And
there we go. Maybe.
Come on. Yahtzee. Here we go. 7 to go. C-main number 1, Brent Cruz. Looking for a rapid conclusion to this. Kevin Newton, Paul White, and Devin Dobie are in your top 4. Traffic lights go out around the arena. And let's see if we can put 7 straight together and finish her off. Cruz is flying up and around the high groove, gets a great restart, but 3rd place in danger of changing. White got high, Dobie got low. Now they're going to battle for the bottom in turn number 3, and White gets the door shut.
Yeah, door slammed in front of Dobie's car, and Dobie's going to keep working the bottom in 1 and 2. White around the outside. Now White's going to shut the door again, and Kevin Newton's leaving the door open on the bottom. He jumps to top side, and there goes White for P2.
What do we know about Paul White? If the bottom's open, he's probably pretty good about driving through her, so.
He's guessing the high side, finally gets back down in 3 and 4 to shut the door. And Devin Dobie, though, is pulled away now from Brandon Carr.
Stay down, Kev. Stay down. There you go. Now he's got to hold off Dobie, although they have a little pad between 4th and 5th at the moment. Getting slick coming off the bottom before, though. They're really having to pedal.
They are. Devin Dobie able to get insurance, getting around Kevin Newton for 3rd. So Newton back in the hot seat. And I mentioned Brandon Carr took a couple laps for his car to keep going, but starting to just try to go where they're not and get some time as Kevin Newton flirts with the berm on the inside of 1 and 2. Brandon Carr starting to close the gap, and he'll get a little bit closer into turns 3 and 4. White flag is out. That's the battle for the transfer spot.
Carr made the long trip from London to come on over and race with us here at the pole. He's got half a track trying to get around Kevin Newton.
Oh.
It's going to be a long ways, though, and he is not going to get there. Newton, the final transfer spot out of C feature number 1. Brent Cruz to the win. Paul White takes 2nd. Devin Dobie 3rd. And Kevin Newton, the 16T out of Terre Haute, ends up P4. His night will continue. They will tag the back of B feature number 1 coming up later on in the program.
Brandon Carr, Danny Fry, Jim Van Zant, we will see you early on Saturday morning, Championship Saturday. NOS Energy Drink Ramp Cam, up they go, and down the hill goes C feature number 2 with another 4 spots up for grabs to tag the tail of 1 of 2 B mains coming up later on in the program.
Your star power of Brent Cruz will be lacking in this one, but still some familiar names. as they'll come out to the racetrack and go 12 times around. Top 4 will go to the back of B2 coming up later. Heck, still got guys putting stickers on, though, for the C features. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, we've got one of the wirelesses on. The question is, who is ready to chit-chat with us?
Yeah, it's me, guys, up
Hi,
here with
Earl.
Brent Cruz. Good evening, gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed your dinner. But, buddy, you're staying alive here on night number 1. Tell me about that C-main you wanted by, what, 3 seconds, I think, according to live timing and scoring.
Yeah, just thankful to be here. Definitely not where we want to be and this early of the week, but have a super fast Mobile 1 71M, and just happy to be here, and can't thank Toyota enough for giving me this horsepower, and grateful to be here again. And we have a super fast car, kind of buried us in the heat race there. Wish we could have had a track like that for a heat race and me to be that comfortable, but had a super fast car. I'm looking forward to the rest of the soup.
Brent Cruz, guys, has a Golden Driller in micro sprint competition here at the Tulsa Expo Raceway and Tulsa Shootout competition, looking to get Golden Driller number 1, and he has a long way to do it here at the Chili Bowl.
Thank you, Earl. BR Motorsports ignitioneering speed shot of a gorgeous looking corner number 4. Here's the lineup for the second C. Cooper Miller and Kate Taylor making up row number 1. Ryan Timmons and John Bernard in row number 2. The Nixon Nightmare, Kyle Bellum and Carter Chevalier in row 3. Brecken Reese and Nathan Kilwine in row 4. Charlie Loudon, Bill Johnson, row 5. Eric Bloomer and Bill Baylog scheduled to go off in position at number 12, with Alex Cogley, tail end Charlie on this field, supposed to go 13 if they found somebody to replace the front end of his race car. And by the front end, I mean the front half.
Front half,
yes.
Yeah. Not sure if we see Eric Blummer either.
It was a black and orange 68 car.
Yeah, Blummer's out there.
He's there.
The green flag's out. C feature number 2. 12 laps, 4 drivers moving on as they fan out 1 and 2. Battle up front, though. Cooper Miller trying to hang on to the bottom of the racetrack around the outside. Here comes Kate Taylor trying now to hold on for second. Ryan Timmons in the 73B, hard charging on the bottom.
Down working the low side of the racetrack is Timmons trying to pick off the 80 of Taylor. Taylor hanging on to it as Carter Chevalier cleans the wall off on turn 4, keeps the rubber side ground wheel stay green.
Bellum and John Barnard are having a heck of a battle there for the 4th spot, 4th and 5th, and Bellum muscled his way to the bottom, and both those guys are reeling in your top 3.
Barnard's got the clean path right now up and around the top if he can continue his momentum. He was 4th at the line the last time by. Bellum digging hard down to the low side.
If you're Kyle Bellum, it's really hard right there to see that guy to your outside and just not want to cast it harder, and then, you know, that translates into missing the bottom a little bit more, and you fall back and back. Got to settle down and get patient. You must get underneath Timmons for this final transfer spot.
Battle for the lead on your left. Battle the transfer spot on your right. 2 cars come together.
Timmons blew up.
Timmons involved, who was sitting 4th in that final transfer spot, and Brecken Reese nowhere to go.
Yeah, tagged him as he came across the middle, underpowered.
Timmons' car engine locked up, and that's going to be all she wrote for that thing. Exhaust is on fire.
Just motion for the move off the racetrack. We'll take a look at the IBOC replay here.
Unless he just got spooked and locked it up, but right here you'll see his rear tires lock up right there. And I would think if it was just his brakes locked up, when he got hit it would want to refire, but we'll see.
It's still on fire, the exhaust.
That's what makes me think it maybe blew up, just burnt oil, or, you know, unburnt oil sitting in the exhaust.
Tough break.
Yeah, not coming back
timing
to
belt
life.
strips. I mean, there could be so many things, but yeah, that's going to be all it wrote for the 73R.
So Timmons, who was 4th, exits the racetrack, and that'll move Kyle Bellum into that catbird seat.
Mopar-powered TCR underneath the JFM stable there. So that'll move Kyle Bellum into the transfer spot. Brecken Reese to the back of the pack. Carter Chevalier was in full send mode from lap number 1 on this. He's up to 5th now. So see how risky he's willing to get up and around the top edge of the racetrack.
For a guy like Brecken Reese, just a good opportunity to learn in your first Chili Bowl, to get extra laps here and having a chance to pounce here and continue your night. We'll see what he can do from the 5th starting spot as we're back under the green flag. With 7 laps to go, Taylor to the outside of Cooper Miller at the point. Cooper's gonna have company too, as John Barnard has been relentless around the outside of this racetrack trying to get that 97X wound up. He's got company with Bellum though, wants added insurance on the bottom. That's a battle for 3rd.
It's like synchronized midget racing, 2x2, 2 rows each back, high-low, good battle between them. Up top, Taylor is taking the lead over Miller, has a nose on him coming out of the corner, and right behind him, almost the exact same scenario between Barnard and Bellum.
Yeah, 4 cars here on your screen, all inside the top 4. Then it's a little bit gap back to Carter Chevalier, who got around Bill Johnson for the 5th spot. But again, 1 spot out, needing to catch back up. Laps beginning to wind down, come to 3 to go.
Around the high side, Taylor with momentum, continuing to hold that spot over Miller. Neither driver really looking to change the lineup as Taylor continues to stretch lap after lap, but as it sits, they're both going to a B feature if they finish just like this.
Making it interesting for us at home and those of us here watching, but I'll tell you what too, Carter Chevalier is absolutely trying to send it to catch up to the back end of Kyle Bellum. Still a little bit of a ways back. Laps winding down with 1 to go. Oh, we got 1 blowing up on the front straightaway, or at least it looked like it was. Big old puff of smoke. Can he hang on? That's John Barnard running 3rd.
Barnard gonna hang on. He will come to the line, take 3rd. Bellum 4, Chevalier unable to make up enough of the gap to get there. So a reminder, we don't take extra cars up depending on scratches, so the transfer cars are the transfer cars, end of discussion, and that'll do her. Taylor, Miller, Barnard, and Bellum.
That'll be interesting to see, though, the diagnosis on Barnhardt's, because, Clint, I know
smoke,
every once in a while a little puff of smoke, but that was a heavy, heavy puff.
Yeah, and got, you know, just as bad, if not worse, as you see Barnard right there to the infield. So clearly issues on the 97 car that we'll have to see if he can make it out for the B main.
Let's check in up top. Chris Moore's got a K1 Race Gear interview.
Yeah, I've got the winner of C Feature 2, Cade Taylor here, and you went up top and you parked it up there. Did it feel good up there, or did you just say, hey, I got the lead here, I'm sticking with it?
Man, it really felt great up there. I gotta really thank Josh and Bill and all the guys of my crew. I've been real uncomfortable all week since we got here, and I've struggled a lot. And they've done a great job really making me more comfortable in the car, and I think we really hit on something there. I was able to get a real good rhythm around the top and make it happen and move on to the next one.
Yeah, good timing to get comfortable. You got a shot now coming from the back of a B.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm feeling good about our direction, and hopefully I can keep holding up my end of the deal because those guys are doing theirs. I'd like to thank a couple people that helped get me here. Trent with Rush, he gave me a suit for the week, so that was great. JTX Ford, Southern Transport, Edward Jones. My wife's parents helped out quite a bit with this too, so there's a lot of hard work that goes into this, and it's showing off.
Keep it up, man. Good luck.
Thank you.
There you go, Cade Taylor getting the win in C Feature 2.
Guys, generally thought of on your preliminary nights, the qualifiers are the big show until you get to the A main event, and it is qualifier time here on the FloRacing broadcast. 4 qualifiers coming up, chance to earn points, the final chance to earn points for these drivers to lock them into 16 A main starting positions. Drivers who end up outside the top 16, 17 through 40 will peel off into the 2B main events. Qualifier number 1 is down the ramp and on the track. Zach Blurton on the pole with Reese Nowatarski outside row number 1. Kenan McIntosh and Trevor Klein, row number 2. Nick Hoffman and Shane Golovic, your top point scorer at 120, sits outside row number 3. Dylan Welch and Brian Schwabauer are row number 4. Kyler Johnson and Brian Crockett are row number 5. These are 10-lap affairs. Same passing points matrix used in the heat race added to from their qualifier score to come up with the final number. And Chris, you're taking a look at the research. Big hat-tipped walk PB as usual. What? mid 170s, about where they need to be in years past to get there?
176.5 was the top 16 cutoff last year. Average about 177. 2022, though, it was 183, which was huge. But I would say if you're right around 177, you should be in the show.
Clinton, you were furiously scribbling down notes there if you saw that.
I just wrote down the top 15 in points, and we'll do some math with and see what we can place guys in starting positions for the feature.
All right. Qualifier 1, 10-lapper coming up. Zach Blurton has got the pole for this one. And to the outside, Reese Nowatorski as we go green.
Keep an eye on Shane Golobic. Gets a couple here. He is smooth sailing, but they are side by side ahead of him for that second spot. Trevor Klein, Reese Norton. Oh, we got Trevor Klein hard up off the cushion. Gonna lose a couple spots, but keeps it going. There's Cannon McIntosh to the bottom. And they may be 3 wide for a minute off turn 2. And here comes Shane Golobic trying to split the middle, looking for second. He's got it. Now he's going to chase after leader, one upside down. And that's the 9B of Brian Schwarbauer. Add that to the flip count.
So Blurton had got the lead back. He was going to lead that lap, and now it should result back to Nowatorski. Go back to the lap 1 finish, and Nowatorski, Blurton, Golobic, 1, 2, and 3. Boy, Shane Golobic couldn't ask for anything better. So we get a look coming into the screen with the IBOC replay.
Look at the speed shot here, and we've seen this a time or two.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm telling you, it's tricky.
Especially over there in turn 3 and 4, like you mentioned, Clinton, that entry, you kind of get lost. Brian Ward, I know you're on the scene, and looks like they're going to at least push him to the work area.
Yeah, left rear flat looks like really the only damage. He was trying to signal to his crew members. He was pushing down on the tire, pointing at them, doing the flat tire motion, letting them know to get ready. So they're going to quickly try and get this tire changed. I walk over here to the work area, and we'll see what they can get it done, if they can get it done in that time.
I see Derek Schwarber down there with a wheel wrench. He kind of runs and operates spike chassis, and every point's going to matter in these qualifiers. So if you can get out there and pick up 2-3 spots, you might be able to save yourself a little bit.
Right now, 6-3 for Shane Golobic. Again, came in high points with 120, so sitting pretty right now. But there's a front row starting spot on the line if you can pick off a couple more as they tighten the left rear. And Brian Schwarbauer back to the push-off ramp.
6-3 worth 101 easily would put Golobic in and in line for a front row starting spot.
Guys, I just want to add one thing. I'm not sure if they've got socials to follow on Schwarbauer's car, but there are 5 GoPros on the cockpit of that 9 car.
I'd be worried about the added weight. Oh yeah,
I can only see the 2, but
I think there's one.
There's 2 back behind the seat, one pointed backwards, one over the shoulder, the one on top of the cage, one pointed right at his helmet, the front of the cage. They're all over that thing.
There's 3 atop Shane Golobic as he jumps to the top here on the restart with just 1 lap complete already. 6-3, looking 6-2. As Zach Blurton is caught up on the bottom. Here comes Cannon McIntosh. Oh, had to get out of the gas.
You got to be careful here if you're Golobic, because you're trying to get around the outside of Blurton, but Cannon's right there, and if you let Cannon get in front of you, it's going to be really hard to pass
they're stacked up on the bottom, and we've got one going for a ride. That's Nick Hoffman, and he's stuck to Trevor Klein.
That's where having that bigger front bumper may not have done him any good, although he ends up getting past, and Schwarbauer gets a position in the same exchange as we're back up front. There's Golobic making the bid for that spot from Blurton, and McIntosh following him underneath for position number 2.
Caution
Yellow lights
flags
on.
out.
Don't know if there may be debris. Okay, we're getting word that Nick Hoffman almost came to a stop, looked like he was, but kept going. Meanwhile, Trevor Klein's
flat left rear on Klein's 55.
From that modified bumper on Nick Hoffman, maybe.
Second look at the IBOC replay as the battle for 4th, and it starts with Klein trying to get underneath McIntosh. Hoffman up and over the top, and you can see that's obviously what flattened the left rear.
Cannon had got really tight there in the middle of 1 and 2, and just everyone bottled up.
See Troy getting the wheel nut off. There's Nick Drake, Trevor's stepbrother. Nick we'll see later on this week.
Lights are out.
Yep. lights are out. So no guaranteed time here. They get it tight.
Man.
And
tough situation there.
They're pointing him up the ramp. So Trevor Klein to the back of a B, or deeper in a B, as we're back under the green flag. And McIntosh just thundered the entry to turn 1 and 2, lost his spot.
Blurton gets underneath and steals third.
Battle for the lead here. Reese Nowatarski and Shane Golovic going after it.
Nowatarski not giving it up easy, as he had streaked away from your front pack for a little bit, but Shane Golovic showing his quality. 6-1, he will be your high point if this holds.
Meanwhile, a little farther back, Dylan Welch up to 5th. Nearly was caught up in that last gaggle of cars on the yellow flag, but needs a couple more spots, but has fallen back behind Cannon McIntosh, who's now trying to get that 71 wound up around the outside of Zach Blurton. He's got it. Now looking at Reese Nowatarski, but he's going to split the difference here in the middle.
Cannon really does need to get one more spot here. 3-3 is borderline. 3-2, you're definitely getting there.
Yeah.
Sneaking underneath, and there's the spot he needed. Now he's got to hold it. 1 to go. Blurton trying to wedge his way underneath. No dice. Going up to the very high side, Kyler Johnson. Final set of corners, final time, bringing Hoffman with him to the line. He got 1, did not get 2. Johnson to 4th.
Wow. A lot happened there in the final couple laps, but one thing's for certain, Shane Golovic all but solidified himself a front row start in tonight's preliminary A main. McIntosh, good run to 2nd. Kyler Johnson in 4th, really nice job there. Nick Hoffman rebound to 6th. Dylan Welch, who again just missed the invert by 1, falls back a spot, so he'll go 6 to 7 and be buried in a B.
Clinton furiously adding the maths up for us as we get ready for number 2 here in our qualifiers at the 39th Annual Chili Bowl Nationals. NOS Energy Drink ramp cam with drivers rolling down, and like we said, qualifiers about as much fun as your race night gets until you get to A main action. Earl is ready up top with the K1 Race Gear interview.
Shane Golovic here with me, guys. Is this gonna be the night that you're able to get a qualifier? You're batting 1,000 so far. You started 6th, you're able to win this qualifier. Right now, that looks like you're gonna be a high point man going into the rest of the qualifiers. Is tonight the night?
Oh, I hope so. I feel like we made some gains there for sure. Can kind of feel the car the way I like to there a little bit more. We're still gonna have to be a little better to be able to beat some of the guys that we're up against tonight, so we'll see. We'll be starting up front, so that's the place to be. 2 checks off the boxes, or check 2 boxes so far out of the 3, so we'll see if we can finally get that 3rd.
Guys, I told you yesterday during the broadcast that this Matt Wood racing team is going to be a force to reckon with. As Chris Moore, who do you have here at the scales?
Yeah, how about 9-4 out of nowhere for Kyler Johnson? We didn't even see you at all. Did you move to the top late, or did it just suddenly come to you? What changed there those last 3 laps?
Yeah, about them last 3 or 4 laps, I just moved up to the top and just had to let her eat. You know, you can only just roll around and follow pace on the bottom for so long. So we had no other option, and it ended up working out for us.
Coming from 9th, that's got to feel good, man. You might be able to lock in. Good job, good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
There you go, guys. Kyler Johnson stealing the show there late 9th to 4th.
It's going to be close, that's for sure. We'll see what happens at these last couple of qualifiers, but that surely saved his night with a great run.
Driving Todd Henry's car out of Colorado. Nice run for him as qualifier 2 on track. Jacob Dykstra and Carson Bolden make up the front row. Trey Marcham, Justin Peck in row number 2. Briggs Danner and Cap Henry are in row 3. Super Mario Klauser and Noah Harris in row 4. Daniel Adler and Jaden Clay in row 5.
You're thinking, what about Cap Henry, 2nd in points? Yeah, but 111 versus 120 to start with. Golovic had the gap.
Mathematically can't get there.
Nope.
So we are green here in the 2nd qualifier. Dykstra from the bottom leads him into turn number 1. Couple of drivers bouncing off the berm and trying to settle it down, but down the back straightaway. Dykstra, top spot, with him fanning out over 2 grooves coming after him. That's Bolden the 7 up into second around the top side.
Boy, Briggs Danner really wanted to get around the inside of Trey Marcham, but Marcham just so good at keeping that car pinned on the bottom. Meanwhile, up top, watching that 7E of Carson Bolden in that 3rd spot battling Trey Marcham. Marcham is going to have the advantage off of turn 2.
Justin Peck made the line adjustment in 1 and 2, got down off the top and to the bottom in the bid to get around Bolden down there.
Oh,
However, he just
Henry.
got shoved out of the way.
Yeah, elbows up against Peck. Just drove through the side of him, take over the 4 spot. Peck coming right back out his left front.
Here comes Marcham. He'll take the lead away from Dykstra. Split screen action. Leaders battling on the left. 4th through about 6th battling on the right.
Trey Marcham just so good when it comes to racing in this building, whether it's the shootout or the Chili Bowl, always finds himself in a good position to run up front, trying to run away and hide here. 5 to go, coming to 4 to go.
And Briggs Danner finally asserting himself down and around the bottom, trying to shove around Carson Bolden as he's got the spot from Peck. Peck kind of gets caught out in the middle, can't get quite underneath Bolden for the 3rd spot. It's Bolden coming back after Danner down on the bottom side. Still physical all around as there's Henry, top point guy, trying to wedge his way to 5th.
Yellow flags out, Cap Henry contact.
And
with
it was
Dykstra.
the 5 of Dykstra getting the worst of it there.
5 to 2 though so far for Briggs Danner. Not gonna lock a pole position, but has definitely the ability. If he can go 5 to 1 here, solid top 4 starting spot.
It's another 120-point run. That would definitely put some points in the bank for Danner, who
he came in with 105 in 6th.
So that's traditionally good enough for a front row starting spot as well.
Yeah.
See if they can fire back off the 5X of Jacob Dykstra. Rookie here at the bowl.
Well, I was enjoying watching that Peck versus Cap Henry battle.
Well,
a couple of wing racers going at it.
I was about to say, they definitely know how each other races, I'm sure, with all the experience, but...
And
it's going to go on again. So.
Yeah, we're about to get round 2.
Cap did what he needed to get back to Peck's bumper.
And Peck recovered nicely after getting rooted out of the way.
Here we go, lights out, 3 to go in qualifier number 2. Trey Marcham, Briggs Danner, and Carson Bolden back under the green flag.
Bolden's gonna go to the top. Peck got a good shot, but came up just a little bit short of him. I'll bet you we see Cap in the picture in just a matter of mere seconds.
Here goes Briggs Danner, battle for the lead on the left side of your screen, and around the outside, the driver of the ABR 55i is absolutely flying. Just drove around Trey Marcham. Here comes Peck for 3rd again.
Oh, from way downtown.
White flag is out one more time around. Justin Peck up to 3rd, trying to sell some t-shirts, but off of corner number 4. The Phenom from the East Coast, Briggs Danner, takes home qualifier number 2, a 5 to 1 run. Trey Marcham finishing in 2nd, goes 3 to 2. Justin Peck in 3rd, 4 to 3.
Cap goes 6 to 5. That's not
77.
So he's in the 180s.
Yep, I got 188.
Yeah, he'll get in, but he's not going to be more than like row 7 or 8 at this point.
Yeah.
Again, depending on how the rest of it breaks out.
Kyler Johnson's going to be flirting. I have a feeling cutoff's going to be right around 182, 183.
Yeah, I got Cannon 2nd in points right now at 197.
Where did Danner end up after that?
Sorry.
Yeah,
Terrible at math.
okay, yeah, it's okay.
225 for Danner.
It's a lot to keep track of.
Then Cannon.
Okay.
So 245, 225, and 197.
So a Golubic, Danner, Cannon, first 3 so far? Ish. Okay. With Larson still to go.
Yes.
In fact, qualifier 3 will feature just that said driver. So we'll get to it in just a second. Once again, watching them here on the NOS Energy Drink ramp cam is physical racing here in the qualifiers, and gonna get even better because bigger names coming with even more pressure on them here in this 3rd queue. Glad to have you with us here on our FloRacing broadcast. As 2 more qualifiers to go before we get into B mains. We'll have the Race of Champions before the B features. Race of Champions, B features, and A main to end our night tonight here on night number 1 of the Chili Bowl Nationals. The Second Opinion Auto Center night here within the arena. Again, thank you guys for being with us.
Yep. Thank NOS Energy Drink 2 coming on board, presenting sponsor of not only the Chili Bowl, but also our broadcast here on FloRacing.
Got to thank our other broadcast partners. They include Hyper Racing, Race Car Engineering, Competition Suspension, Rod End Supply, Impact Race Gear, Wedge Karts, TJ Forged, and Buzzy Racing, as Chris Moore is ready with a K1 Race Gear interview.
Yeah, thank you, Caleb. Got Briggs Danner here. Briggs, you're coming out of a really good camp this year. I asked you earlier if you were nervous at all about batting leadoff for this strong camp. Doesn't look like it at all.
Yeah, not really. I got kind of stuck there early on. It just a little bit slow pace on the bottom to kind of make it work. I felt like I was a little bit stuck. I saw guys hanging on the top. So I knew I had to move up, and it was good, so just made it happen. I knew I had to pass some cars there, obviously. Wasn't really happy with second, so maybe that yellow helped me out, but we were good. Just can't thank everybody back at the trailer enough. Alex, Mickey, all the guys that make this thing go around and go around fast.
All right, man, keep it rolling.
Thank you.
There you go, guys. Last year, he snuck in on the last lap of the B main. This year, he looks like a threat to contend on Monday night.
Yeah, no sneaking for Briggs Danner in
Definitely
2025.
not.
He's let the building know he's come to contend as we look at the lineup for qualifier number 3. Tanner Holmes and Josh Balicki. What a front row here for this one with Joby Miller and Ashton Torgerson in row number 2. GT Gary Taylor inside of row number 3 with Kyle Larson coming from outside of row number 3 in the 6th spot. Hayden Mabe, Hayden Wise, the Hayden Show in row 4. Luke Stroyer and David Canfield Sr. rounding out your 10-car field. Again, 10 laps, passing points, Caleb.
Ooh.
There could be quite some moving and shaking going on.
This could be fascinating between the young bucks still looking to stamp their name in the annals of history here. And, of course, you've got Kyle Larson coming off row number 3. Everybody's going to give Kyle their best shot every time. So, should be fun. Holmes desperately needs this win. Balicki going to try to follow him as they come off the front row. Joby Miller almost, yes he did, sneaks all the way inside Holmes, and Holmes to a stop out of turn number 2. Tire inside row is going to get a shuffle forward on that one.
What an effort, though, for Joby.
Boy, you just saw him creeping, just sneaking a little bit, and by the apex of the corner, he was all the way underneath. Let's get a look at the IBOC replay and how it all went down and what might have happened. Just in a hair lower and enough to get by.
Holmes got a little bit tight in the center. That's all Joby wanted to see. Right here, you see him. Holmes tight and washes out, and Joby's going for the gap, and I mean 8 inches is the difference right there.
So close, and kudos to Joby. Kept his foot in it, kept rolling. Fortunately, though, for Tanner, he's going to have to tag the tail of the field. We'll double him up, try it again, and that puts Joby.
Oh, guys, Tanner Holmes is broke. He's got tie rod issues or some sort of front axle damage there.
Figure when Joe jumped over the top of that left front with the
that
right
left
rear.
front's not even moving.
Smoked.
I'm going to see Brian down there. Brian, when you're ready, let us know. Looks like drag leg damage from what I can see.
Well, let me take a look here. Drag, I mean, there's a little dent in it, but it is not bowed or bent like you see them sometimes.
How about the tie rod?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get a good look underneath. And oh, it's the axle that's bent back.
Oh.
It's bent back here on the left front. So that's what is putting it out. So that does get into your drag link there, kind of putting it in a bind. Left front axle is bent back. The left front tire, or the wheel, has a little bit of damage to it as well.
That'll be enough.
So Joby Miller will inherit the point on this complete restart with Josh Balicki to the outside. Move Gary Taylor and Ashton Torgerson now in row 2. Larson now to the outside of row 3.
Yeah, they just stuffed the entire inside row forward, so bonus points for everybody who was on the inside already. Miller will be credited with a 3rd place start, but he now effectively has the pole. And that is cake for Joe B out in front of this. Makes things a little bit harder for your outside row now, too, shuffling a couple fast cars up on the inside of it.
This would be good for Joe B, who came in 15th in points, so right in the cut line, needed a big run for a 3-1. If he can hang on to this one,
3-1 worth 110 for Joe B. Miller.
He would maximize his opportunity, should get him in the show.
Well, now he's got to get the job done. 10 laps to do her. To his outside is Balicki with a second row now of GT and Torgerson. We're green. Torgerson gonna try to shoot the middle here. Runs Balicki up into the cushion. Ashton Torgerson gonna follow now up and around the high side. Joe B. Miller leads, Torgerson too, with Taylor down to the bottom in third early.
And Kyle Larson just jumps to the top there in 1 and 2 this time. He saw the advantage those top two had. Battle for the lead though. Here comes Ashton Torgerson for the point. Cross to the nose, and now down the hill goes Joe B. Miller back to the bottom. But Ashton Torgerson's gonna lead that lap.
Connects on the slide job, now trying to get away from Joe B. Miller. And Miller's gonna have Kyle Larson to have to defend from in a matter of mere seconds. As he tries to keep contact with Torgerson just a couple of laps into this qualifier.
Now everybody trickling around the top side of the racetrack, having to really ease their entry as you watch Kyle Larson this time to the bottom in 3 and 4. Joe B. Miller hikes the front end up. Larson loses a bunch of time that time around.
Guys, this cushion is what we saw Kyle struggle on in Race of Champions qualifying. He's shying away from it a little bit right here. I don't know if he's trying to find something in his car or just doesn't feel comfortable, but Torgerson is flying around the expo right now, getting away from everybody.
Let's do a little.
Oh, one upside down here in 3 and 4, big time. And that's the 86C of David Canville Sr. Saw several rotations coming toward the broadcast booth. Where are we at, 8 today, Clinton, on the flip count?
8 today, 11 total.
So doing the math, Larson came in at 110. Came in at 110 on this, as we're gonna get a look at the Eibach replay.
Up in the cushion a little too heavy and not enough wheel spin to pull yourself out of it. Right rear digs in and over you go.
6-3 on the grid is worth 101. That puts him in the mid, like, 211?
So he'd be third if it sticks for now, unofficially.
Yeah, that might just be a knowing where he is decision by Kyle. If he's not super comfortable up there on that cushion, just with a Race of Champions coming up, right, and his A main coming up, he might be content to go, I'm good, I don't need to risk it.
Don't need to wholesale it on the top. And
it would bump him back to further back to at least fourth, because Torgerson would pass him with his 4-1 run if he can hold on to it. And yeah, it bounces guys around a little bit.
Yeah, Ashton came in with 100.
Well, he's going to have a clean start here at the halfway point, right? He'll start right on the back of Joe B. Miller.
Well, it's Kyle Larson, guys.
And he's Kyle Larson.
Man, it makes that bit of a difference.
I know.
We're talking about him running third right now, like he's just going to sit there and not try.
Yeah. We should know better. Brian?
Just wanted to chime in here on Camfield. He wanted to keep going once they got him rolled back over, but then officials let him know there was problems. The right front lower radius arm, the bolt is still through the rod end, but it ripped it out of the axle. Part of the axle still attached there, so they'll have to make some repairs, maybe just change that front end on Camfield.
Thank you, Brian. So hopefully get that repaired for the 2B mains coming up here in just a little bit, but we got to finish this one. 5 laps to go. Qualifier number 3. Ashton Torgerson, Joe B. Miller, Kyle Larson, Gary Taylor. Luke Stroyer was quiet, but up to 5th.
Yeah, it's 9 to 5 for him. The Dolly Parton run is alive and
there
working.
We go. Our first Dolly Parton of the week, Caleb Hart.
You're welcome.
Here we go, 5 to go.
What a way to make a living. Down to the bottom, Kyle poking the nose in, trying to get underneath Joe B. Joe B on defense with Gary Taylor lingering and looking for a spot. Joe B actually caught up to Torgerson through that corner and narrowed the gap for a second as they now all take to the cushion in 1 and 2.
Cushion in 1 and 2, and then Joe B back to the bottom in 3 and 4. He really likes opposite ends of the racetrack. Different lines here. Larson kisses the wall, and he's going to go for the bomb in 1 and 2 across the nose of Joe B. What a move for Kyle Larson. Forced Joe B to get on the binders.
That forward drive off the bottom in that slide, Clinton, that was nuts.
Yeah, Joe B was not ready for that slide job. You saw as soon as he saw him and got on the brakes, and the car was tight. Tight again right there off turn 2. There's Kyle Larson still just making more moves, collecting points.
6-2 for Larson as we watched Ashton Torgerson on the white flag lap hammer the top side of 1 and 2 into turns 3 and 4. And Ashton Torgerson from 4 to 1 here in qualifier number 3. Larson 6-2. Joby Miller, Gary Taylor, Luke Stroyer, your top 5, and Luke going 9-5 in that run.
So 115 for Torgerson on that score.
Our mathematician, Clinton Boyles, is hard at it. We'll give him a minute. As you look at the finishing order, and Storer did a really nice job there at the end. Got around several cars before that last caution, but Ashton Torgerson, boy, we've talked to him a couple times. Fastest in hot laps, won a heat.
6-2 worth 113 for Larson.
Yep.
Nice.
That's what I got.
Nice. 2 big additions up at the front of your lineup there.
Yeah, this is
One
shaping up
qualifier
to be
go.
quite the top 3 rows for tonight's feature event. As you look at the NOS Energy Drink ramp cam, our final qualifier of the night headed down the ramp. Here's how they'll line up for 10 laps. Again, passing points, the name of the game. Zach Bowden and Michelle Decker, your front row. This one, Emilio Hoover and Jerry Coons Jr. in row number 2. Zach Weigel, the rookie, in row 3. Alongside him, Mr. Monday Night as of late, Tanner Carrick. Row 4, Briley Kilmer and Logan Prickett. And your top 10 final starters, Alex Sewell and Aiden Price. So opportunities still abound, but Tanner Carrick probably paid attention to what Kyle Larson just did, paid attention to what some of the other drivers did, Justin Peck, Shane Golobic in those positions. But very treacherous around the outside of the racetrack, so we'll keep an eye on that. To the top of the ramp, Earl Hoon Jr., you've talked to this gentleman quite some time already here this afternoon.
Yeah, Ashton Torgerson, guys, is getting it done so far here in night number 1. Big smiles when you pulled up here at the top of the ramp. How much does this help your confidence? Because you know how tough it is on these qualifying nights.
Yeah, exactly like you said. You know, going to the qualifiers, you don't got no easy race. So going out there, you know, I seen the lineup there and kind of knew how to do my job pretty quick to get up top, and I felt like the top was really good for me. So once I got up there, I was pretty comfortable. I made a few mistakes. I got to clean that up to be good in the feature here, and hopefully we can lock it in.
Looks like the track is starting to go through a little bit of a transition. You know they're going to rework it before the A main. What kind of changes do you got to make to this safety clean machine?
Yeah, exactly. They're going to do changes, and so we're going to watch the track, see what they do. We'll adjust to the track, but got a lot of speed right now, so we should be pretty good, and hopefully we can win this deal.
Ashton Torgerson, guys, what a great story this is going to turn out to be for him.
If you're Carrick right here, you're loving what you see on the top side of the racetrack. That's right inside your wheelhouse. And if you're Jerry Coons Jr., you're wishing they had to put a row of water on the bottom.
Definitely experience on the outside on a cushion like this will pay off for the veterans as the lights are out, coming to green. Final qualifier here on Second Opinion Auto Qualifying. Night is underway.
That is the exact start that the outside row wanted to see. Decker getting up, around, and down, and then it doesn't stick.
It's even better for your outside row. Amelia Hoover's
I was about to say, do you see the rear end on that?
But I think that's just the, oh man, that axle might be snapped. I was gonna say, I think the tire's just sitting funny, making it look weird, but.
So that's Hoover's 9, Weigel's 89, and 6B of Kilmer that were all stuck together there. Oh yeah, that thing is definitely off camera.
Yeah.
Bananaed out big time as they try to unhook Weigel's car, the right front suck. We'll check out the IBOC replay. Watch the bottom lane here.
Hoover actually got in a little bit hot and kind of started that.
Tried to do what Joby Miller did, saw a bit of daylight to the inside.
It just, and that gap pops open so quickly, and you're off 4, you're like, man, I can get there, I can get there, I can get there, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh no, I'm not getting there.
Yeah. And it just closes up so quickly.
Brian, you've got the up close and personal, and we're looking at the left rear on the Hoover car in particular.
Well, can't really see much underneath right now because they're going to come put the hook, but you guys are right. It's leaning up against the chassis here. I'll hop on the back and see what it does when they lift up.
Can you tell if it's the axle or if maybe the wheel just split in half?
It's one of those things, left rears on these cars, you don't have a lot of space to work with in there to begin with. I mean, it's hard to even
It's the
get
axle.
space.
It's snapped right there at the rear end. It just came apart.
Thank you very much, Brian.
Oh,
yep. Thump.
If you needed added reassurance that that's broke, there you go.
I see what Clinton was saying there. I mean, that the angle looks lowered, and with your left rear on these things, you don't get to really. You go to put spacing in the rear, you can't really put spacing in the left rear of these. You can, I mean, ½ inch at the most, but almost all the time you have to go over to the right just because of the sheer configuration of the way these cars are built. So the field will double back up once again. We've got 10 laps to go. Knock out Hoover in the 9 car. 9 will restart.
I was gonna say, with that, Jerry Coons Jr. now on the bottom in row number 2.
A much happier kid.
Yeah.
So I think when you lose that many on the inside row, you're probably forced to crisscross.
Now it's off the initial start, so Jerry's still going to get credit for starting outside row 2, but
Carrick, the big winner in that one.
Absolutely.
6 to
Sewell.
4th.
With a lot of time still to go, Carrick jumps to the outside. They stack up on the inside. He's going to look for the lead off of turn number 2. Tanner Carrick, 6 to 1.
Hello, Gift Horse.
Here comes Weigel, guys, from the back of this thing. Already third.
You're absolutely right, Clinton. Running the rails here in that CB Industries 89 car. Caught up in that last incident. He's got third. He's going to look for second. That's Zach Bowden up ahead, and immediately Weigel to the top side.
That thing is just glued to the upper groove as he runs
He's
down.
Got Jerry with him.
Yep, runs down Bowden out in the front of this. Weigel has got second. Coons Jr. needs to pick up a spot here, go 4 to 3. He'll do that entering turn number 3 as the top is just wicked quick right now around the Expo.
Zach Bowden to the top after seeing his doors blown off by those 2 drivers. So, yeah, everybody migrating to the top now. Carrick has got a full straightaway ahead of Weigel, who's now got Jerry Coons Jr. right tucked in his tire tracks. There's second and third on your screen. And if you're Jerry, you probably definitely need this one pass right here.
Well, Jerry's really fast.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's going to dive down low here, or if he's going to set him up for just a one-shot deal to get by him.
Jerry's keeping the car really straight. Shoots really good off turn 4.
Cross the nose. Weigel will point it back down the hill.
He didn't get all the way back to the cushion to shoot across. He tried to park it on him, and Weigel read it like a book.
Bottom, it looks relatively good, though, for Coons coming off the low side of 2. See if he tiptoes the low side of 4, loses a lot of momentum there.
Yeah, you got to get back to the top, try to create your speed.
He may run out of time. They're going to come around. Tanner Carrick's going to see the white flag. Coons trying to close back into Weigel. May not have enough. Final time around, how about this? Originally started 6th, given a get to start 4th, and now he's leading. Defending Monday night prelim winner is going to win qualifier number 4. Finishing second, Zach Weigel. Third, Jerry Coons Jr. Alex Sewell, a solid run to 4th. And Zach Bowden, your top 5 finishers.
6 to 1 worth 125 for Tanner Carrick there.
And that'll move Tanner Carrick on the front row alongside Shane Golobic.
Weigel's 5 to 2, a really good scoring run, and he had to do it the hard way, all the way from the back of the field.
Chris Moore back at the top of the ramp with the K1 Race Gear interview.
Yeah, I got qualifier number 4 winner Tanner Carrick. Tanner, could you have drawn up a better first lap? I mean, 6th to 1st, and you didn't really have to work that hard for it.
No, I mean, I watched the first start, and they all went to the bottom, and then they kind of crossed us up there on the start, so I was glad we got to stay on the outside there for a minute, and then I was like, well, hopefully they'll all go to the bottom again and didn't learn from the first start. But Keith keeps working on this thing and getting keep making headway. We're getting faster for sure. I think that helps us out for our starting spot in the main. We'll probably start like second or third. So
believe second.
Oh, perfect. I know we got the 17W on the inside, so that's gonna be tough. But it always comes down like the last 2 prelims I've won here. It's me and the 17W banging bumpers at the checkered. Hats off to these guys working their butts off. I mean, they got a lot of race cars here and a lot of cars that they got to make fast. And I'm trying to carry us into the 3rd prelim win for me. Trying to get the team rolling and trying to get the motivation up and the confidence up in the team, and try to start out the week like I have the last couple of years. So can't thank Keith and Pete and Toyota and California Waterfowl and everyone that helps out. If it wasn't for those guys, I wouldn't be able to be here and do this.
All right, there you go. Tanner Carrick off an impressive qualifier win. Earl Hoon has the runner-up, Zach Weigel.
Yeah, I got Zach Weigel here with me, dude. The scorecard may say 5-2, but you had to work your butt off for that one. Tell me about it.
Yeah, man, I'm not sure what the dude was doing there. First corner, first lap, went for a pass with a quarter of a car length gap, and made us work hard for it, but pissed me off real good and drove the shit out of it.
You sure did, and you were talking to some of your crew guys here at the top of the scales. What kind of changes are you going to have to make for later on?
I was getting a little tight when I got into the cushion, but just make a few tweaks, and I think we'll be up front in the A-main.
Zach Weigel, guys, had to drive his you-know-what off there in that qualifier, and this is the time, right? We've been talking about it all weekend long while leading up to this first night. The qualifiers, the best, exciting. C-mains, okay. Now, guys, we're really getting to the nitty-gritty, and I got a feeling that some feelings are going to get hurt here later on.
Race of Champions time here at the Chili Bowl Nationals, the Monday night edition of the 39th annual Chili Bowl Nationals, powered by NOS Energy Drink here on FloRacing. Glad to have you guys in with us. Caleb Hart, Chris Wilner, Clinton Boyles in the booth, getting ready to hand out the hardware, little cash, and provisional on the line into the A-main event, should they not make it by normal means, on the line for the O'Reilly Invitational Race of Champions, due out next. 25 laps around and a loaded lineup, the best of the best. If you got an accolade to your name, you're pretty well in this race, depending on where that accolade comes from. As Chris looking at this lineup, the front, every row is loaded, but the way this sequence is out, it's going to be a ton of fun.
Absolutely. 25 laps with the best drivers in the world, led off by Christopher Bell, 3-time Chili Bowl champion, and Logan Seavey, the 2-time and defending Chili Bowl champ, on the front row. Dason Persley, last year's hard charger, USAC National Midget Champion this year, inside of row number 2 with Tanner Thorson, 2022 champ, on his outside. Corey Day, Cannon McIntosh in row 3, Kyle Larson and Brad Sweet, relatives, also co-owners of High Limit, on row 4. Buddy Kofoid and Justin Grant in row 5, Spencer Baston and Sunshine Tyler Courtney in row number 6. Brady Bacon will lead off the inside of row number 7, who is outside Cody Swanson. And then it's Ricky Thornton Jr. and Ryan Timms coming from row 8. 5 times Sammy Swindell and Tanner Carrick in row 9, with Kaylee Bryson bringing up the rear.
So just another angle for us to keep an eye on as we go through this. Bell and Seavey up front, and I think this is going to be a real standard setter. You know, last year, Seavey comes out, wins the Race of Champions, wins his preliminary night. He's undefeated for the entire week. He could really put his foot down right now with the returning Christopher Bell and make a statement here in this ROC.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a big year. You know, obviously, year 1 of winning the Chili Bowl for Logan and Kevin Swindell and Jordan, that whole group is something they'll never forget. Year 2 is absolutely phenomenal, but to have Christopher back, to have Kyle back, I mean, this is the year that you showcase, okay, like, is this a dynasty that's in the works here with Logan? And it's weird, because we talked about it before we got on the air. This place builds runs.
Yes.
Seems like you win 1, you win at least 2 or 3. And this is the year that can, you know, Logan Seavey go 3 in a row and be in that upper echelon like a Christopher Bell or a Kevin Swindell.
Well, we're going to find out what it looks like. A preview of a little bit later on in the week. Christopher Bell and Logan Seavey making up the front row of the Race of Champions, 25 laps. The ROC begins where green is quickly down to the bottom. Goes Seavey chasing Bell out of turn number 2. McIntosh up on the high side, working his way up and around early. It is Bell, Seavey, Pursley in the third spot. Naked Thorson and Pursley duking it out for position 3 after lap 1.
Tanner Thorson, your quick time winner in qualifying for the Race of Champions. First car, the outside groove in his own stuff. Car number 88 starting to get the top side wound in. He's got Cannon McIntosh in tow, but that's Corey Day to the inside of Cannon McIntosh. But up ahead, here comes Dason Pursley looking to track down Logan Seavey. But here comes Tanner Thorson back to the bottom.
Thorson dives low, looking underneath Pursley in the bottom of turn number 2. As Pursley trying to find momentum up around the high side to chase down Logan Seavey. Seavey hiccups off the bottom. There's the big move from Pursley for second, and Thorson followed him through.
How about that move? Tanner Thorson read that like a book and now is able to capitalize getting around Pursley and Seavey. 3 wide down the front straightaway. Logan Seavey's going to throw his hat back in the ring and cross over Tanner Thorson. Contact off 2.
Got way too wide off the corner. Might cede another position to Corey Day as the defending Race of Champions champion in Logan Seavey. Backing it up early here in this one as everybody trying to run down Christopher Bell, and Bell trying to leave him in the early stages.
They're 3 wide in the center of the corner. You got Kyle Larson in the middle between Cannon McIntosh, Corey Day. Corey Day is able to get away from those 2. And then here comes into the pictures that Justin Grant trying to make some moves. Here in the 87 for Chad Boat from deep in this field.
Guys, the bottom of the racetrack is still really good. I feel like all 2 weeks ago in the shootout and early today, the bottom has gone away extremely fast. And right now, your leader, Christopher Bell, is still just rolling the bottom, and anyone that running the bottom seems to be going forward.
Battle for second here, a little ways back from race leader Christopher Bell. Dason Pursley ripping the top, Tanner Thorson on the bottom. But again, about a half straightaway back. Then they're side by side, even deeper with Seavey and McIntosh going after for 4th. And then even deeper is this battle between Larson, Grant, and Corey Day on the bottom.
We're 10 laps into this, 15 to go, so 40% of the race is in the books already as you're watching a battle for about 7th and 8th. Flash forward now to where Seavey is running now inside the top 5 once again as he dukes it out with McIntosh.
McIntosh back to the bottom, this time in 3 and 4 as they continue to switch lanes lap after lap. Now everybody around the top in 1 and 2. Seavey leading the train there, and that 5th position's got Grant, Corey Day, and now Corey Day's battling Californian Kyle Larson. They're on the bottom.
Justin Grant really been kind of moving his way steadily up and through this field. One of the guys you're saying making gains out in front of this. As here comes your race leader, Christopher Bell, dealing with his first bit of traffic. That's Cody Swanson in the 4 car. Directly ahead of him, Bell has to get off the bottom and to the top. And we'll see how the Ring-sponsored 71 car does with the line change.
Just trying to look for a lane because Kaylee Bryson's got the top lane plugged up. Cody Swanson on the bottom. Meanwhile, Larson, here goes Buddy Kofoid around Kyle Larson. So Larson going backwards now, falling back in the 9th spot.
Kofoid off the cushion in turn number 2, gets to the bottom to close the door on Larson through the corner. Larson really good though, steps back underneath him, coming off the low side of that corner. Reclaims 8th for the time being, racing directly ahead of him, Corey Day and Logan Seavey. That's for 6th and 7th on this field. Yellow lights blink on.
And that's Brad Sweet coming to a stop in turn number 2. Christopher Bell got lucky, got through that lap traffic because Dason Pursley closed in a hurry, but then Pursley got stuck behind the lap cars of Cody Swanson, Kaylee Bryson, and RTJ.
Sweet was running about 12th on the field at the time. He was racing in and around a group with Spencer Baston, Tyler Courtney, Ryan Timms, Tanner Carrick.
But lap traffic certainly began to be a factor for Christopher Bell as that gap shrunk. It was over 2 seconds. It was down to a 1.5 seconds. Or it was down actually to a second, then grew a little bit once he got through the lap traffic. But he'll have clean racetrack, but now Dason Pursley right on his back bumper. Tanner Thorson as well with 8 laps to go.
Yeah, guys, Tanner Carrick just went up the ramp. Calling it good.
I don't think that's shocking.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Like, that's 17 laps of a test, so that's pretty darn good for him.
He made a couple passes there, got up to about the 16th or 15th spot, and actually wound up 14th before pulling off, but you're right.
I'm wondering if Kyle doesn't pull off at some point in time. Another couple of laps, maybe ripping the top and call her good.
Yeah, he's...
It'd be rare to see Kyle back out of a fight.
Yeah. He's gone backwards, though. Kyle has.
I think the biggest thing we've seen so far is we have 8 laps to go, and the bottom is still plenty fast enough to compete with the top side of the racetrack. And this is the first time we've seen the Expo be dirty.
Yeah, Clint Boyles, I was just going to stick with you on that subject. I'm actually sitting on the outside of turn 3 and 4 here in the grandstand, and I'm just kind of shocked to see how well this bottom is really sticking around here for this long race. Is this maybe something that we can anticipate for the upcoming 8 main?
Yeah, it certainly can be. If you get the moisture down there, it's you know, the more you apply, the harder it is to get out of it. But this is the first time we've seen like dust on the Expo Raceway, you know, over the course of the 2025 season here, and I think that's making the top tricky to run. And just when it's dirty and kind of dusty like that, struggle to make grip. And so, yeah, it's super interesting to see how the track's played out. And I think all the guys that are going to race in these B mains and A mains coming up after this need to be watching and taking good notes, because I don't know any reason you wouldn't see the same thing again.
8 laps to go. Christopher Bell, Dason Pursley, Tanner Thorson, Cannon McIntosh, Justin Grant, Logan Seavey, Corey Day, Kyle Larson, Buddy Kofoid, Sunshine, Tyler Courtney, your top 10, as it'll be Bell leading them to green. Start again for Christopher Bell, who'll go to the top of 1 and 2. Pursley trying to stick with him, 4 car lengths back at the exit of the corner.
Yeah, I'd be really curious to see. This is a critical couple of laps for Dason Pursley to not let Christopher Bell, if he's going to have a shot, run away with it. Pursley committing to the top side there again in 1 and 2. How about Justin Grant from 10, challenging Cannon McIntosh for 4th, had to back out of it. Here comes Corey Day as well, and that Willie Kane, number 41.
Chance to mention, all these drivers had a chance to work on their cockpit adjustments, shocks, or whatever they've got in the compartment, trying to make their cars better. 3 wide down the back straightaway, as it looks like Kofoid got squeezed up a bit.
Big moment there for Corey Day, and Buddy Kofoid, the big loser in that situation, loses 3 spots as Kyle Larson and Corey Day getting rowdy on the bottom.
It's back up around, but the caution flag waves once again with 5 laps to go, and it's for Brad Sweet. Almost deja vu in the same spot of the racetrack.
Working in about 14th position at the time.
It's been a rough outing for Brad Sweet today. Race of Champions, qualifying and hot lap. Missed hot laps, couldn't get the car to fire. Changed a battery, got out there. Qualifying didn't go well, and now for a second time has come to a stop.
So we'll have 5 to go when we get back after it. Bell, half a second lead over Pursley. Certainly wasn't as dominant as it looked before, but another chance for these guys to work on the race car once again. Twist on the cockpit adjustments as we've got one up the ramp. Sweet leaving the racetrack, calling her good.
Logan Seavey's here in the work area. He's heading up the ramp as well, guys.
All right, thank you, Chris. So Logan pulled off the racetrack.
Good chance for these guys under yellow to go ahead and twist on some knobs and work on a few things and see what they can, you know, do or learn. If you're sitting in the 7th, 8th, 9th spot, no chance or no reason to not, you know, move some things around and see the feel difference it makes.
Back to the green flag we go with 5 laps to go. Christopher Bell, Dason Pursley, Tanner Thorson, and here goes Tanner to the bottom of the racetrack. Pursley following Bell around the outside. Top 3 on your screen as Pursley trying to keep tabs with Christopher Bell. 4 to go.
Pursley's sticking around, having to deal now. Cannon McIntosh making a move to the inside of Tanner Thorson, looking for a top 3 here in this Race of Champions.
Bell just so straight off the corner. Pursley had it a little bit sideways with the back end hanging out, but Pursley now starting to close in into 1 and 2. Here comes Justin Grant now on your screen. Grant from 10th to 5th, looking for 4th on Cannon McIntosh. He's got it, at least for now, with 2 to go.
This has got to be a big win for Justin Grant here in this Race of Champions. A lot of confidence to be gained from him in his performance as you watch Larson come into the white flag one more time. This has been the Christopher Bell Show, picking off where he left off a week ago.
Has virtually been untouched all 25 laps for the final time. Christopher Bell in his return to Keith Kunz Motorsports wins your 2025 O'Reilly Invitational Race of Champions. Dason Pursley, Tanner Thorson, Justin Grant, Cannon McIntosh, your top 5 finishers, but C-Bell starting his Chili Bowl in Victory Lane here on Monday night in the Race of Champions.
Buddy Kofoid, Kyle Larson, Corey Day, Spencer Baston, Sunshine round out your top 10 here in this. Again, you look at it, Grant 10 to 4. That's a major, major win, not just for Justin, but for CB Industries. On top of putting Pursley in the 2nd spot, but it is Christopher Bell who comes out and goes unchallenged 25 times around. All right, guys, so how'd the Dirt Draft Race of Champions version end up?
Chris Wilner was impressive in his. I'll let you know right now.
All right,
that was incredible.
Let's see.
He ran 1,222nd.
Yep. Well, I had CV pull off. I had Brad Sweet break twice. Pursley's the only driver that gave me some points.
Sammy and Brady towards the back end.
Yeah.
I ran 4th.
I went all in on the Race of Champions.
All right.
I'm going to redeem myself with my Monday night.
Well, if you pick Christopher Bell, you're off to a good start. Bell out of the car, and he will take the victory. And as soon as we get the word, let's kick things down to the house for our winner's interview for the O'Reilly Invitational Race of Champions.
So, Scotty, he's got the helmet off, and I asked him earlier during the press conference, now that he's off the chain, does he feel a sense of freedom? And he said, exactly that. And you can see it here tonight.
No doubt about it, and I'm just going to reiterate his words on behalf of all the race fans. Thank you, Joe Gibbs. Buddy, hell of a job. You just stunk the joint up, uncontested from the pole. Outside of gratitude for Joe Gibbs, I think a little bit of gratitude to Tanner Thorson for drawing that 4 and getting you up on the point.
Yeah, thank you, Tanner. That was friendly of you. But I freaking love this place, man. It is the greatest, and I'm just glad I get to be here with all you great race fans. This is just so much fun. So much fun to be able to come back and run these dirt cars. I can't thank Pete Willoughby, Keith Coons, and Bo. Thank you, buddy. You've done an amazing job getting me comfortable. It's taken me a little bit to get my midget shoes underneath me, but I'm really glad that I had that race to try and help better myself for Thursday.
I think that's 3 A-main wins now and 3 tries. How about that? Since I've known you as a youngster, growing up in this building as Larson and many others did, I don't know, since the shackles have come off and you're able to do what you passionately love, that I've ever seen you this happy.
Life's good, that's for sure.
No doubt. So it looks like you might have a little something come Saturday night, because that thing worked very well on the bottom, and then when you got to the traffic, you worked very well up top as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've been down this road many of times now, and I was looking at stats. I don't think that the Race of Champions winner has ever won the Chili Bowl on Saturday night. So I'm pretty sure that's true. But regardless, I haven't done it. And I've been in this position many of times where I've run really well early in the week on Thursday, my prelim Race of Champions. So the track is always different whenever it comes Saturday night, A-main time. And it's a great start for sure. But I'm going to have to be on my game and do everything right in order to win this race on Saturday.
Heck of an effort, bud. A lot of people will be following you this week, and we're quite proud of your efforts. So many people glad to have you back in competition in this building, let alone here, but all over the country. We'll be able to have fun watching you this year.
Yeah, I love you guys. So glad to be back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, one more time out of Norman, Oklahoma, Christopher Bell, your winner for your O'Reilly Auto Parts Race of Champions. And we'd like to welcome Kendra and Jenna with Hard Rock Casino, and they will present the trophy to Christopher Bell. And momentarily, we can have the crew come up. And with that, guys, that wraps up your Race of Champions. Good stuff. And Locust Grove, Oklahoma's Dason Pursley, you were able to start reeling him in, and then about the time you started reeling him in, he got a gaggle of lap cars between you and he before that caution flag waved.
Yeah, he got through the lap cars very good, like he always does. So, when we get to lap traffic, you can either catch him or he's going to put a lot of lap cars in between you, and sure enough, that's what he did. So, CB Industries, Chad Boat and all of them gave me a good car, Pristine Auction, Toyota Racing, NOS Energy Drink. It's been good so far. I can't complain at all. We had a little scary moment there in hot laps biking up, but nonetheless, we were able to tame it down. And I felt like I just kind of messed up those last handful of laps of running the cushion harder and trying to keep up. So just try to get a little bit better and see everyone on Wednesday.
At the end of the day, you know full well when it comes time to come down the bottom of the ramp for your qualifying night, you're going to have a good piece to work with.
Yeah, that's all the feel like the Race Champions is just building a notebook and getting your confidence up, and sure enough, we did that. So just looking forward for the rest of the week and see if we can get this hot rod a little bit better.
A lot of hometown fans pulling for you, buddy. Good to see you. Best of luck this week.
Yep, thank you, guys.
Locust Grove, Oklahoma's Dason Pursley, your runner-up. And this cat, you pulled the Plinko chip. They put you back in 4. You got to the podium. I told Chris that outside of thanking Joe Gibbs, he needs to thank you for pulling that Plinko chip.
Yeah, he better thank me. No, good job to him and Bo and the team. They've, they did a really good job, obviously, and their class act and the best team in the building. So, we got some work to do. Like I said earlier, we're all right. We're just not great. So, keep on working here and go into Thursday night and see if we can knock him off the top step.
All right, buddy. Thanks for visiting with us. Hell of an effort. Good luck.
Yep, thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Tanner Thorson rounds out your podium, and Christopher Bell, your O'Reilly Auto Parts Race of Champs. You got a nice ring to it, don't it, bud? How about that, race fans? One more time, give Christopher Bell, Tanner Thorson, and Dason Pursley a big round of applause. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
High draft picks in and through and littered in this B main, so we'll see how they end up as they are rolling down the ramp as we speak and onto the racetrack, getting ready for competition. Row number 1 is Luke Storer. He'll be joined by Nick Hoffman out of Mooresville, North Carolina. Second row is Hayden Wise and Zach Bowden. Daniel Adler and Logan Prickett are in row number 3, while row 4, the Rocket, Roger Crockett and Hayden Mabe. Trevor Klein starting in the 9th spot. 10th will be Noah Harris. 11th, David Campfield Sr. And 12th, Jacob Dykstra.
So well within Clinton Boyle's appropriate allotted hours of being in the building.
Oh, yeah.
If it's before noon, Clinton Boyles, we know, is not here.
No. But I'll be here afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll be rooting them on from the hotel room.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to say I'll be here with you guys in the morning.
We won't be offended if you're not.
Yeah.
But hey, especially if you're like locked into the A on Saturday, I have no problem seeing you.
See, that's good. It just kind of depends on how the prelim goes, where you're sitting, and how Friday night plays out for yourself.
So if you chose to come in Saturday morning,
I think you guys are supposed to be here. Well, you guys, us. I'm also supposed to be here, I guess, technically. At like 7:30.
Yeah, 7:30 or 8.
Yeah,
we're on track at 9 with that.
Something like that.
I would like to join you guys. I've actually never been here for some of the first mains of the day.
I will tell you.
They're interesting.
They're interesting, and most likely a couple of the early ones may get scratched depending on how many cars actually show up, but it's a different vibe.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting, but hey, lights are out. We're coming to green. Our first B feature, looking for 4 to tag the tail of the A main event. We're underway. Luke Storer and Nick Hoffman.
Storer from the bottom of the racetrack. A good start for him, trying to escape as, boy, Nick Hoffman making a little more work for himself than I think he intended to have. Your top 4 have broken away with Storer, Adler, Wise, and Hoffman up in front right now, and everybody chasing them.
How about a 5-2 quickly for Daniel Adler, wasting no time. Hoffman going backwards, and now he's upside down, and Nick Hoffman went for a ride, collecting the 17M as well of Logan Prickett.
Hoffman went to the top and bounced it off the curb like we've seen a few other guys do, and bounce it off, your left side's dig in, and over it goes.
Commentator's curse. Take a look at the IBOC replay. And watch the NOS Energy Drink 2. Absolutely just got bit.
He was kind of at that point where he's sliding across right here, kind of working up the racetrack, so you start to backpedal a little bit to try to, prevent that slide. And as soon as he's backpedaling, he catches the cushion, and it's just no good from there. You're upside down. You don't have any wheel spin. It happens really, really quickly. And you can see, Nerf bar pushed back in the header, probably back into the left rear front axle. Definitely pushed back on the left front. And a lot of damage. Steering not working. Brian's down there. Brian, let us know what you see.
The left front axle is pushed back, and it's got that drag link bent almost to an L. That's where this left front tire is wedged back in. Drag link is all out of shape. They couldn't even turn the tires back straight. It's got that spindle all in a bind, so that's why they called for the hook on the front of the 2H.
Yeah, great work from our camera guys there. Disappointing finish for Nick. He's been really good inside this building. This is kind of the first time we've seen him, have to battle some adversity and not have the speed that we've all expected. And tough break for Nick and Jeff Taylor with the Rocco security car. It's, not what we're used to seeing out of them.
Nick was a Saturday B main appearance last year. He was 9th in his prelim A main. He's had 4 attempts and 3 A main starts, but boy, he's going to have some work to do when he comes back to the building on Saturday, probably mid-afternoon. It'll be a long rest of the week for him as he works on his race cars for the outdoor season, waiting to come back. But meanwhile, back up front, Luke Storer.
Nick Drake and Brent Cruz have to be the story of this one so far. They've both rolled the bottom extremely well and have passed a lot of race cars to put themselves in position to have a shot
Trevor
at
Klein,
locking in.
yeah, absolutely.
Or sorry, yeah, Trevor Klein.
And just a lap in, so long time to go for both of those drivers. There's a look at Klein. Cruz 1 spot in behind him.
Yeah, they're good friends too. Spent a lot of time racing Millbridge with one another, and they kind of know how each other races. Battled for wins many a times over the course of the last couple years.
They can breathe now and just, settle in and go race their way into these transfer spots more so than have to fight their way just to even have a shot at it.
I was gonna say, am I seeing this right? They'll be 5th and 7th on this restart?
5th and 6th.
Back under the green flag with Storer, Adler, Wise. And Adler jumps to the top, leaving the bottom open for Hayden Wise. The young lady out of Huntersville, and all of a sudden, Daniel Adler gets turned around. Cars scatter to avoid contact all over the place. Brent Cruz barely got through.
I was gonna say, Cruz did himself a favor by somehow staying in the gas there as it just stacked up on the bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah, and he's looking around trying to see if there's any damage, and
looks okay.
And if his Nerf bar's not back into the tire, he escaped a...
Ibach replay will show us everything, how it happened once again into the corner. Well, you just see the mile-an-hour difference there between Crockett and Adler as Adler's trying to slow down to get all the way to the bottom, and Crockett, I mean, you can only woe that car up so much without stalling the thing out to try to get into the bottom of 3.
I'd be worried if I was Trevor Klein too. Significant right side damage as he gets around Adler here, just smacks with the right rear.
Cruz is right front and Klein's, Nerf bar right rear area where it took the biggest impacts, and he's got that 3-point Nerf bar and you can see it's bent up a little bit.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like either of them are rubbing tire though at this point.
Yeah,
so
no, and Cruz's right front didn't have any bent radius rods, so.
Got away with that one for sure. But again, it's the battle of attrition sometimes in these B mains that'll help you out. And with Hoffman out and now Crockett, it's putting Trevor Klein and Brent Cruz in solid positions here.
Well, this is going to be a war for the bottom and one of those physical, brutal, move a guy out of the way fests. This is coming down to the very last lap.
Yeah.
Klein, started 9th and is in a transfer spot here in 2 laps. 1 lap, technically.
9-4, Brent Cruz from
13 to 5.
Yeah, unbelievable.
2 laps in, but again, the physicality that they're running with right now, nobody's safe.
Crockett got a freebie there. 1 from the standpoint of crashing, and 2 from the standpoint of the Chili Bowl staff here is very quick to throw the black flag if they feel like you drove overly aggressive or put someone in a very bad spot.
Lights are out, still waiting to get this one really rolling. Still 14 to go, 1 lap complete. Storer and Wise lead him back under the green flag, and everybody ducks to the bottom, but Cruz missile to the top from 13th. As he looks to get inside the top 4, battling Trevor Klein. Up the hill goes Roger Crockett.
As shuffling back a spot to Klein in the process. Although it looks like he might get it back off the top of turn number 2, not quite.
Klein just gonna have that 55 wrap in the bottom, get the left front to get the car to turn. He does. Here comes Brent Cruz into the mix as well. Slow catfish in the bottom are these two here. Inside now a transfer spot.
Your race leader Storer went up to the high side 1 and 2 and quickly got back to the bottom of 3 and 4. Now Cruz gonna change lines. Crockett follows him. Can't quite get by him. Cruz holding 4th with Crockett in pursuit. Now Cruz. Oh, they're just kind of lining up nice for him, aren't they?
Storer looks really free on the bottom side of the racetrack, bottlenecking and going up, and big move from Brent Cruz there to try to get up beside him.
Brent Cruz says beep beep coming through. Thought about going to the middle to take the lead. He may try it here. No, backs out of it. Storer goes to the outside. Top 2 now around the outside of Hayden Wise. Cruz now thinks about it to the middle. Short slides himself. Good stuff at the front of the field, and now Brent Cruz for the lead.
Slides across the groove, catches the cushion, and drives away down the back straightaway. Cruz has got the lead. Storer now under fire from Klein from third, and Crockett's found the high side, moving his way into a transfer.
And we're just halfway through this race, so still plenty of time as Crockett now gets it wound up. Storer back to the outside to protect, and here comes Trevor Klein trying to follow suit on the bottom. He takes that position away, move Trevor Klein to third.
Storer is just fast enough to be able to defend that position pretty well, but both Crockett and Klein behind him putting decent laps together. The good news for all four is they're pulling away from Hayden Wise at this point with 5 laps to go in this.
These guys should be able to settle in and play nice with each other. And Storer's car being too free on the bottom should be better on the top side of the racetrack. So as this race goes on, he will get better and better.
Klein still patient on the bottom, just working that little bit of moisture that's still left. As we go back up front, Brent Cruz is in lap traffic, 2 cars side by side. That's Newton.
Got to be really careful if you're Brent Cruz here. There's very little to gain by making a risky pass, but he got around both of them at the same time with 2 to go.
Yeah, got through that lap traffic, doesn't have much to deal with here for the next handful of turns as Brent Cruz absolutely pushing through the top side of the racetrack. White flag is out. One more time around for Brent Cruz, a half track almost ahead of Luke Storer, Roger Crockett, Trevor Klein. Solidly, your top 4 will advance. Off of 4, Brent Cruz wins B feature number 1. A long ways back, there's Luke Storer in second. Roger Crockett and Trevor Klein will be your 4 cars that advance. Noah Harris got up to 5th, but 1 spot short. Wise, White, Adler, Bowden, and Doby.
And just like that, you guys' dirt drafts are saved.
I still have 2 more that need to get in this next one.
That wasn't the last one to get in?
No.
Oh, Chris, you're in trouble.
I'm in trouble over here too. I had Hoffman, so that's a tough one.
And you've got Aiden Price coming from deep in this next one too.
Yeah.
It can be done. We just had 13th to the win as Brent Cruz, soup eater, here tonight.
That's right. He said he was hungry. He told, I believe it was Earl and Chris, that he wanted some chili bowl soup today.
13 to 1 in the B after winning the C. So Cruz moving forward. See how far he can advance in the upcoming A main event.
It's so hard to imagine that Brent Cruz, I believe his last year, became the youngest Chili Bowl Saturday A main starter. Now he has 4 years to become the youngest Chili Bowl winner. He has 4 attempts to still have that mark. Unbelievable.
Oh, we just about got ran over on the ramp right there.
Yep, careful.
Very bad. Do
Head
not
on a swivel.
Everyone pay attention.
Don't want to see that kind of violence on the NOS Energy Dream Cramp Cam. 1 more B main to go before we're into A main action again. B main number 2 will also be 15 laps, and the top 4 will move into the outside of the back of the field. Positions 18, 20, 22, and 24 are coming up here for this one. As we go up top, K1 Race Gear interview. Earl, you got a hungry man up there?
Yeah, buddy. The question is, do you like your chili with crackers or no crackers? Because you were eating some soup there, bud. Congratulations on transferring on.
Thank you. Just want to thank the Lord for keeping me safe. Definitely no crackers, gluten-free. So just want to thank this whole Paul May group, everybody at Toyota Racing, and yeah, Paul May again for bringing me such a fast race car. Sucks that we're in the soup run. I'd rather not be talking about crackers and chili and all that stuff, but I'm grateful that we're able to definitely advance and get the win from that far back is a huge plus, and I'm looking forward to tonight.
You're going to be starting pretty far back there in the A main, and you came up through the field here in this B main. So what kind of changes you got to make to this car to make it up there and get back in the hunt?
Not quite sure. I've only been around really heat race cars and CMB main group, but I feel like we have a really fast car. We're able to pass cars really fast, could run the bottom, could run the top, could run pretty much wherever we wanted. So we'll see in the future, and hopefully it's competitive.
Guys, Brent Cruz is staying alive here on night number 1. Chris Moore, take it away, my friend.
Yeah, I've got our final transfer car, Trevor Klein. Trevor, you looked really good in the heat race, got put in a bad spot there in the qualifier. You were able to rebound, but it never looked like it was easy out there.
No, especially here, and not very great, I don't feel like. So got a lot of work to do come feature time, but we'll work on it. Didn't get very much laps in the qualifier, so we'll see what it does, and we'll go from there.
Did you feel at all at any point like you should move up to the top, or were you committed to the bottom there for the most part?
Well, early, since they watered, I was committed to the bottom, and then I wanted to move up, but they were just right there, and I knew we were pretty good rolling the bottom just every time. We just came off even, so it's not worth sliding a guy and taking us both out in a B. So, well, definitely need to move up for come feature time, and hopefully we'll be pretty good.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
There you go. Trevor Klein went 9th to 4th, found his way into the show.
Wisdom out of a young driver, knew he was in and called her good from that point in time, quit putting the car at risk. So Trevor Klein has made the A main event tonight and has 30 laps to improve his position, improve his starting spot for the A main on Saturday. He's guaranteed at least an E main start for Saturday afternoon. So job not quite done yet, but he's made progress.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's one of the youngsters that works on his own stuff, so I know takes a lot of pride in that as we check out the lineup for B feature number 2. Final 4 to lock into the back of tonight's A feature event. Caleb Hart, front row, Carson Bolden, and Zach Blurt.
Row number 2, Mario Klauser and Michelle Decker. Row number 3, it is Josh Balicki and Dylan Welch. Our 4th row is Jaden Clay, Nathan Price, Brian Schwabauer, Riley Kilmer make up row number 5. 6th row, Emilio Hoover and Tanner Holmes. They are the 12 who locked in. And the 4 joining them from the C, Kate Taylor, Cooper Miller, John Bernard, and Kyle Bellum.
Here we go, lights out. Top 4 tagging the back 4 rows on the outside of the A main here tonight. It is Second Opinion Auto qualifying night. Time to let them loose. Who's gonna punch their ticket? It's Carson Bolden, Zach Blurton, Mario Klauser, Michelle Decker, your top 2 rows as we're under the green flag.
Traffic jam sorts itself out nicely through 1 and 2. Is everybody on their best behavior? Will they keep it up through 3 and 4? Looks like they will. Lap number 1 is in the books. As out in front, it's Bolden, Decker, Klauser, and Burton in the transfer spots. Blurton, that is. Yellow lights on.
And we've got couple cars sitting there in the inside berm, and I think that's Josh Balicki.
Emilio Hoover in the 9.
And the 97, is that John Barnard? I think it is.
Yeah, it is.
Those drivers running in the mid-pack.
Balicki was 7th, Hoover 9th. So string them all out single file for a restart with 14 to go. Well, Welch was up to 5th as we get a look at the IBOC replay.
That happened right behind him here as they stack up on the bottom, and Emilio Hoover up and over the left rear of Josh Balicki.
Remember, Hoover had the left rear issue where the axle snapped back there earlier on in his qualifying race.
Don't see much damage on Josh Balicki. They may be able to push him off. He looked pretty fast earlier tonight.
Brian, all 3 cars turned around, pointing the right direction. I don't see scattering of pieces on the ground, so they might all be okay.
Yeah, everything looked good here. They were able to just kind of get them off of each other and spread apart and turn them around for a push start.
Thank you, Brian.
One lap complete, so still plenty of time, 14 to go. As Mario Speedwagon, see him there in the 75 Speed Quip Performance entry. Right behind Michelle Decker, who's been pretty impressive as well. A little bit of bad luck in the heat, but otherwise that 7D has been pretty fast, and these top 4 just gonna try to survive this one with 14 circuits still to come. On the outside looking in, Dylan Welch, Brian Schwarbauer in the 9B, Josh Balicki actually to the back. So Aiden Price will restart in the 7th spot. There's Aiden running for Mark Daly in his first Chili Bowl. Coming around to take the green flag. 14 still to go, top 4 to the show. Bolden, Decker, Klauser, Blurton. We're back underway.
Blurton's the first one out of line, going to the high side in turn 2. looking to make some room. Meanwhile, Schwabauer down to the inside of Welch. That is for 5th, with Price knocking on the door of that battle as well.
Schwabauer gets the spot on the bottom. Dylan's going to fight around the outside, and the John Lebeck 60X as that battle for 5th continues to rage on. Coming through, beep is Aiden Price. The youngster snickers underneath the bottom of Schwabauer, and Price moves to 6th. Welch back to 5th. Trying to chase down Zach Blurton, but Blurton's starting to fall just a little bit back from that top 3, so could have a battle for 4th here. As you take a look, that's 2nd, 3rd, and 4th on your screen, and Blurton's got all sorts of trouble.
Big bobble for him in the middle of the corner as he got in up on the cushion. That allowed Welch to close. Welch is bringing Price with him down around the bottom of the racetrack, so it's not just Dylan by himself. He'll sail it up and around the high side. He's got a good line as Blurton tucks it into the bottom in 3 and 4. Welch on the hunt for the final transfer through turn number 2.
Blurton ran that slider line in 1 and 2. He's going to go to the bottom this time in 3 and 4. Dylan may have an opportunity, picked up the front end, just have to hit your marks, be smooth, and now Welch with the advantage off of turn 2 may have it here. Move Dylan Welch now inside the top 4.
So smooth with the throttle application up and around the cushion, keeping his foot in it. He may not be done, Chris, as they're still stacked up on the bottom in front of him. He's looking for 3rd here, and that's a full row if he can get it. Mario Klauser down on the low side. Dylan Welch gets a little tight coming at corner exit. Maybe the next time by as he's got Klauser and Decker lined up like ducks in a row coming off of turn number 2.
Yeah, and while Klauser now changes his mind, moves to the top, says, I got to get around Michelle Decker, but that opens the bottom for Welch. So battle back here for the 3rd position. Dylan now to the inside, looking to get around as Klauser rips the lip in 1 and 2. Battle here, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th on your screen.
You're watching the world's fastest announcer trying to get the job done from a little bit further back in the pack. He is 4th right now, but there is a big distance between him and Blurton. Up and around the high side, he follows Mario Klauser down the back straightaway, who's working on the top of Michelle Decker. 3 cars duking it out for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, down to 3 to go.
Yeah, just cannot make a mistake. They don't know that they've got about a half straightaway, if not a full straightaway, ahead of 5th place Zach Blurton. So got to take what you are given, but don't force the issue as Klauser continues to rip around Michelle Decker. Dylan Welch there in the waiting.
And you can see Dylan is given just a little space to Mario. He wants to give him a second in case Mario flinches and something goes wrong. Mario able to get up and around Decker as we're down to just 1 left.
Dylan needs to capitalize right here. That's an entire row's position right there, or 2 if the Decker gets back by.
Coming back around, yeah, checkered flag is going to be out for Carson Bolden. Battle for 2nd off the line. Give it to Klauser, Dylan Welch, and Michelle Decker, your top 4. Moving on to the A main. As you look at the rest of your finishing order, unfortunately, Aiden Price in his Chili Bowl rookie effort, 1 spot short of the main event. We'll see him in an E main on Saturday, but you're right, Clinton, maybe a little bit too cautious for Dylan. Could have had possibly another row up ahead of him.
I mean, in the show is better than 1 more row for sure, but I think Dylan was good enough and stayed patient long enough that, you know, he could have tried something right there. And, you know, even if you don't fire it across 100 mile an hour and you just at least let him know, let him make the decision whether he wants to lift or not, and maybe that's another row, but you're in the show. You can work for 30 laps now to go forward.
Chris, you can talk a little bit about this being Dylan's bestie, right? Like, he has a little PTSD coming off of the suddenness of his previous wrecks. You remember a couple of years ago when he looked so strong and then wrong place, wrong time getting over that right rear tire in turn number 1.
Yep.
I think you've got some past history there for Dylan in this building, playing to effect of why he wasn't right up on Mario there in those last couple of laps.
Yeah, I think so. I know Dylan, you know, sometimes a lot of those performances maybe kind of weigh on him a little bit, and that's why he was a little reluctant maybe to come back in this building, especially last year. I mean, I'm pretty sure he was upside down in every race he was in. So the fact that he's at least in the prelim show, now you can relax. Now you can maybe try some things, make some moves, and at least try to extend, you know, your time in the building on Saturday to maybe a little bit later in the afternoon. Takes the pressure off a little bit.
All right, let's head up top. K1 Race Gear interview with the Chris Moore. Chris?
Yeah, all the drama going on back there, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. None for you, man. This thing was rolling out in front. I don't even know where you were running. You were so far gone. How'd the race car feel?
Oh, it felt great. You know, with this being my first time in a midget, it's a big learning curve for, you know, going from sprint cars to a midget, but that was really fun. So.
You You feel like you can do something now coming from the back of the A?
We're going to try our best to go forward as many spots to help us for Saturday.
All right, there you go. Carson Bolden going to try his best, but his first time in a midget, a good showing. Earl Hoon's got Chris Wilner's bestie.
Yeah, how about that? Dylan Welch, dude. In November, you made the decision to come back here. Big old smile. I like that from you, my man. And I know it's a B main, but you're staying alive here. Got to come from deep. That car is absolutely ripping around there.
Yeah, we're really good there. Kyle Jones is helping us, and anybody who's watched any races in here the last few years knows how good he is here, and he's helped me a lot tonight and got us, a really good race car. So happy to get back in the show, and I feel like I'm getting comfortable, and those B main laps honestly helped me. I think you hate to have to run it, but they helped me. So go run 30 here and see what we can do. Just want to thank John and Ken for letting me run their car, and everybody at Bell and OMP, and like I said, Kyle for making me comfortable here.
In October, you said, nope, I'm not doing it. I'm not coming back. I'm done with it. I got to focus on my other career. But still, man, in November, you had said, okay, I need this, and this. Everything came together, and still, you're staying alive on qualifying night. Tell me about the process of just getting prepared to come back into the Chili Bowl.
Yeah, I don't know if I have a process other than just watching film and just kind of trying to get my mind right. It's so hard now to just run one race a year. I mean, I haven't raced a car of any kind since Chili Bowl last year, which I know there's plenty of other guys in the building now that do that, but it's hard, man. I mean, this field of cars every year is damn tough, and it's hard for guys like me to keep up. So I'm out of breath. You can probably hear that, but. No, it's always been about the people that, that I have around me and that give me good race cars, and I just try to do them proud and do my job, and feel like I've done that today, so just try and finish it off here.
Dylan Welch, guys, transfers on.
Hey, Earl, ask Dylan if this means he's going to stay the rest of the week or not.
Say that again, Chris.
Ask him if, with his performance tonight, if that means he's going to stay the rest of the week.
So with your performance tonight, this is coming from Wilner. With your performance tonight, does that mean you're going to stay the rest of the week?
I don't know. See how
I need a buddy.
He's lonely. He needs a buddy.
Well, I don't know what I'm going to do for him.
Guys, Dylan Welch, all smiles up here at the scale.
You don't just get hyped. You stay hyped.
Yeah.
Killing it on the production and the videos this year. This has been awesome, guys. We're ready to go. Prelim night number 1, A main event. Top 2 finishers lock into the pole shuffle for Saturday night. 3 through 8 are going to a B main. 9 through 14 into a C feature. Shane Golovic and Tanner Carrick make up row number 1. Briggs Danner and Kyle Larson are in row number 2, with Ashton Torgerson and Zach Weigel on row number 3. Kenan McIntosh and Trey Marcham are row 4. Justin Peck and Jerry Coons Jr. row number 5. 6th row, Gary Taylor and Cap Henry. Row number 7, Joby Miller and Kyler Johnson. Final lock-ins, Alex Sewell and Reese Nowatarski make up the 16 guys who locked in by points through the qualifiers. And then your 8B main move-ups. Brent Cruz in the 71 has gone C to B to A. Carson Bolden next to him in his first time in a midget. Luke Storer, the Australian, in the 2. Mario Klauser, Roger Crockett, Dylan Welch, Trevor Klein, and Michelle Decker make up the 24 cars, going 30 laps for just 2 spots into Saturday night's A main event. 2 spots into the pole shuffle, where their fate can drastically change. Well, this field is fired off. 30 laps to decide it. Again, first and second to the pole shuffle coming up on Saturday afternoon. And guys, Chili Bowls have been made during the pole shuffle. If you'll remember, big portion towards Tanner Thorson's run to that Chili Bowl A main was made through the pole shuffle. So first and second, if you run second, it's not a death knell to your weekend. You still got a really good chance to improve. 3 through 8 to the B, 9 through 14 go to the C main. Next chunk of cars to the D, and then the last place finisher, I believe, is an E main car coming up on Saturday night. So we are just about ready to roll.
The Rowdies over there in turn 2. They were a little quiet earlier this afternoon into the evening hours, but they're going to get something to cheer for here, as we're going to have 24 of Monday's best getting ready to duke it out. We're going to find out who's going to race Saturday night, our first 2 here tonight. Look at those grandstands in turns 3 and 4. The crowd has filed in. It is chilly outside here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, but my oh my, the temperature's been cranked up here in the Sage Net Center.
Yellow light's still on. We'll get one more pace lap in and around your Monday night edition.
I'll take a second, guys. I just found out from Wikipedia, and I think this is true. It's Michelle Decker's first prelim since 2009. I don't know how that doesn't seem possible, but yeah,
How
that's
about
huge,
that?
huge for her and that team. They've been through a lot. They've had, drivers in and out here this week. So, yeah, super cool for Michelle Decker there. Hopefully she can, drive forward in this field if that's true. Doesn't seem like it should be, but
right. Well, the lights are out as 24 cars lined up 2 by 2 by 2. We'll see the pace truck dip off into the infield. What a front row. Shane Golobic, Tanner Carrick, Briggs Danner, and Kyle Larson, your front 2 rows. 30 laps here on Second Opinion Auto Qualifying Night. Monday is green.
It's got to be the start that Shane Golobic was looking for if it stays green so far. Good through 1 and 2. Good through 3 and 4. Golobic leads lap number 1.
Here comes Cannon McIntosh. How about that start? Already up to 3rd as Briggs Danner's left hanging on the outside. He's going to race side by side for that position. Ashton Torgerson is there, but Cannon McIntosh racing with a little bit of fire here in his pants in the early going.
Up on the high side, Danner not ready to give it up easy. Briggs Danner rallying back up and around the top, got the momentum going. Retakes 3rd. He's after 2nd into 1.
Topside coming in quickly here inside the Expo, and they're getting that outside rolling. Side-by-side battle into 3.
Up around the top goes Danner, and now Danner on the hunt. He's in 2nd. Let's see how long it takes him to track down Shane Golobic out in front.
Briggs Danner's car came to life about 2 laps into this feature, and he has got the topside figured out as Cannon McIntosh and Tanner Carrick, the teammates for Keatkins Motorsports, absolutely going after it for that 3rd spot.
Look at the wheel stand by McIntosh. Side-by-side battle here. Golbic's made the way to the top. Carrick with a big ball. Oh, big mistake.
Split screen action coming as Kyle Larson approaching that battle on the right for the lead. Their 2 car lengths make it 3 apart as Danner is just fishing up Shane Golobic and reeling him in as we put another lap away.
Briggs Danner, Allentown, Pennsylvania, pride of PA, making something happen in his first opportunity with Alex Bowman, and he's reeling him in. Back for the lead, and Danner's upside down. Hard into turn 3 and 4.
That got disastrous in less than a second for Briggs Danner.
Oh, heartbreak. Briggs Danner had been absolutely flawless all night long, and it ends just like that.
Guys, Briggs Danner had so much drive off of turn 2. His car was so fast. He is absolutely going to replay those first 12 laps in his head, and especially that one, for a long time to come. First 7 laps, sorry.
Brian Ward is on the scene, and there's not a guy in this building kicking himself harder than Briggs Danner right now, who, making a bid for the lead, got up and over the cushion and just destroyed an Alex Bowman racing car in the process.
Yeah, as soon as the car came to a stop, he just hung his head in disappointment. You could see he started to loosen up the belts, and as soon as the officials got there, they all gave the thumbs up, so that was a good sign. But this car obviously suffered significant damage. Both right front radius rods, both front shocks. Looks like the rear end's sitting on the ground. Jacob's ladder's got some, it's broke a little bit. There's fluids all underneath this race car. So much fluid, I can't even tell where all of it's coming from. He's finally out of the race car, so we will get a word in here with Briggs here in just a moment.
Thank you, Brian, and we'll take a look at what exactly happened. But Clinton, you called it here on the IBOC replay.
I mean, just coming across so fast, and that cushion had already gotten super tricky, and he had the speed. It's just, man, that's such a tough situation, and you're almost one of those deals where you're so fast that you feel like you have to go, as opposed to trying to slow yourself down a little bit.
Well, I was going to say, at what point is that just maybe overdoing it early on in the race?
It's just, not that it's a lack of experience, but when you're not used to having that speed. Brian, you're down there with them. You let them take it away.
Yeah, we're going to walk over here to the work area while they try to get that car hooked up. A rough ride there, Briggs. Tell me what you saw coming into those corners.
Yeah, I knew how to run there on Carrick. I really didn't think I blew it in that hot. I just kind of took a bad bounce there and just sucked me right up. Not much I could do.
good to see you get up and out of there. Obviously a little disappointed. You can see that when you came to a stop. This team, tell me what it's like being part of such a great team back there and what we can expect to see him do with this car for this weekend.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Alex, Mickey, all the guys back in the trailer, they deserved a prelim win tonight, and just got in a little hot. You know, I was going for it, and I know we had a good car. I know we definitely could have been locking spots. So hate it for them. Hopefully we can bounce back pretty far or see how far we get.
All right, we're going to let you go back and assess everything.
Thank you.
I would not be surprised to see him do a little soup run in the E-main. I really would not be surprised.
Unfortunately, now it is an E main event for Briggs Danner on Saturday. And you think, in retrospect, you're going to watch the video of that one. There's going to be a lot to learn for Briggs in watching that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he'll go back and watch this over and over, and man, you know, I don't think he really did anything wrong other than just he didn't realize how fast he was. He didn't realize the car speed that he had, and I think that's just something that you have to have laps in here to understand and know when to pick and choose your moments. And we talked about, you know, to go beat these guys, you got to be perfect, and that's a mistake that you just can't have.
Hey guys, if Brent Cruz up to 14th, just let
make
me
it
know.
13th.
Make that 13th. Yep.
And I want to add in, if you're Alex Bowman and that entire Alex Bowman Racing team, are you having flashbacks right now just when you were so fast? Was it 2 years ago?
Oh,
just
when they tore up a lot of stuff, yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
everyone
right
in the stable was fast, and everyone just had something go wrong.
Right now, I imagine you're going to get the car back, you're going to let things settle down, evaluate what you have to do to put it back together for Saturday, and then if you're Alex, you go into coaching mode, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, and as the team leader, I think you want to, you know, try to tell your other guys, we have the speed, we can do this, you know, not a, oh boy, here we go again moment.
Well, you look at it, your other parts of that team, and you're going to have to help me out on the fourth one, but are C.J. Leary and Jake Swanson.
And
Kevin Thomas Jr.
And Kevin Thomas Jr. So there's three veterans who can quickly go, hey, Briggs, here's our learning experience here. And I don't think the three of them even need to be told, hey, we have the speed. They all just saw it.
Right. Yeah. It's a really tight group, too, what Alex has assembled. I mean, they're all good buddies. I mean, I know at least on the CJ and Jake Swanson side, like, they hang outside of racing all the time. They've grown up racing, so they'll have their teammates back and get them back ready to go for a E-main run on Saturday.
So we'll give you a top 10 rundown here. It's going to be Golubic leading on the restart with McIntosh behind him. Torgerson will be third, Carrick 4, Larson 5. Peck 6, Weigel 7, Joby 8, Marcham 9, and Jerry Coons Jr. sitting in the 10th spot here. 7 laps of 30, down with 23 to go here in the A-main event.
7-2, just impressive for Cannon McIntosh early out of the gate. Still with 23 laps to go, plenty of time to figure it out. And then, of course, he's got his teammate Ashton Torgerson, and that car's been fast. Tanner Carrick got away with one right before that caution, nearly took that car upside down, about took the nose off Kyle Larson as he came down the hill. So time to reset, regroup, and get back after it. We get some running here. Kyle Larson back there in the 5th position.
Opportunity for all these drivers under slow conditions also to be working the cockpit adjustments that they've got, compression, rebound, and the shocks, depending on what knobs that they have in the car. So we will see some drastically different handling race cars coming out of this. As the caution lights in the arena turn out, 23 laps to go, Chris.
Here we go. Shane Golubic, Cannon McIntosh, Ashton Torgerson, Tanner Carrick, Kyle Larson, Justin Peck, Zach Weigel, Joe B. Miller, Marcham. Your top 10 as we're back under the green flag, and down to the bottom goes Cannon McIntosh, wasting no time going for the lead on Shane Golubic. He's got it off turn 2.
Golubic got way high coming around the corner in 3 and 4. Now somehow Golubic holds the lead on that lap, but the slide job triggered and executed by McIntosh out of 2.
Cannon McIntosh saying, remember me, Mr. Monday Night is back in the building, 7-1. Golubic now gonna fire a slider into 1 and 2, looking for the lead back. Not gonna get it done. McIntosh around the outside. Here comes Tanner Carrick on the bottom.
Look at it. Sticking a nose in. That's Torgerson from in and behind. Torgerson wants the spot as you're right, Carrick from downstairs trying to move to third, and here comes Larson on the low side.
Yeah, all these guys are racing around the top side of the expo, throwing slide on each other, and Kyle Larson is creeping the bottom, making his way through. They got to get lined out and be able to build some speed if they want to run down your leaders.
Torgerson getting after with his teammate, Tanner Carrick, leaving the door open for Kyle Larson on the bottom. Now Carrick's going to protect the bottom. We'll go double box, battle for the lead on your left, battle for fourth on your right.
On the left-hand side of your screen, Golovic trying to come back after McIntosh. On the right-hand side, there's Larson driving up and around, trying to take it away. Big old wheel stand for Larson. Costs him the shot at fourth. Bill cross back underneath and have it out of turn number 2 for a second.
That was masterful. Larson just turned a mistake into an absolute bomb to take over that position. Now he'll go to work back on the bottom as Carrick goes to the top, but back up front. Shane Golovic now has company in the form of Ashton Torgerson, who's starting to reel him in off of turn 2.
Torgerson racing with a lot of confidence here as he has reeled in McIntosh and Golovic. We are halfway home, 15 in, 15 to go. Cannon, Golovic, Torgerson, Larson, Peck up to 5th. Carrick, Weigel, Marcham, Coons, and Taylor, your top 10.
Yeah, I've been watching Justin Peck. He's slowly knifing his way through. Just got around Carrick and now has clean racetrack to track down Kyle Larson. There comes Zach Weigel, the rookie. Contact with Tanner Carrick, and upside down goes Zach Weigel.
There's going to be some drivers really happy to see that stoppage, as Weigel, unfortunate for him, a top 10 run, and he ends up on his side with 16 down, 14 left.
Tanner Carrick was starting to go the wrong direction, fell back to 6 right before that contact as we check out the instant replay presented by Eibach. Coming into view, Weigel with the slider, up and over the cushion, tried to turn back down, but Tanner Carrick was there.
Yeah, hard racing by both those guys. I don't think anyone knew the other was going to be in that spot when they were, and obviously the contact sends Weigel upside down. He's not going to be too happy.
Earl Hoon Jr. on the scene as Zach Weigel's climbed from the race car, and may get a word with him here. Earl, you can go whenever you're ready.
Zach, things got real close here in turn 2. Walk me through it.
Just got ran over, man. He's just pissed off. 17-year-old nobody blew his doors off.
Zach Weigel very unhappy here, guys.
Well, there you have it.
Maybe we'll take a look at the replay and see, but obviously tension's running high.
Yeah, this is high-stakes racing right now, too, with a curb like this and, you know, how precise you got to be with your moves and the timing that you make them, you know, really tough. And, yeah, just like I said, everyone's so invested in wanting to do good in this race. It's easy to understand why, you know, Zach is upset, and obviously not the year he was going to be looking for.
So we had just given you a top 10 rundown. You move Weigel, who was 7th, throw him out to the back, right? That's going to move Trey Marcham to 7, Jerry Coons Jr. to 8, Gary Taylor to 9, and Joby Miller to 10. Cruz will be 11. His roll to the front slowed a little bit over that last little run, but what this is going to do is gather this whole field back together.
Yeah.
McIntosh had half a second on Golovic. Golovic had, looks like 7/10 on Torgerson, who had another 6 on Larson. So all well spread apart, and then about 1.3 from Larson back to Peck. That brings everybody from 5th on forward to kind of scrunch them up again.
The guy to watch is still going to be Brent Cruz, guys.
Yeah.
He was absolutely pushing Joby, Gary Taylor, Jerry Coons, Trey Marcham all around in a circle. They were kind of wadded up in a group of 4, and he just couldn't find a way through. So this yellow is probably his best friend to single file those guys out so that he can try to pick them off one at a time and not be stuck behind them.
If he catches another caution, how much further do you think Cruz can come?
Man, it wouldn't shock me to see him inside the top 5 if he can clear, you know, 3 or 4 of those cars, that group that gets you up to, you know, now the 6th position, 7th position.
Like to the back around where Carrick is, thereabouts?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he certainly seemed to have the car speed to get up past Marcham, and Marcham's in 7th. So, you know, that kind of gives you a speed check on where he could go. But, yeah, we're just past halfway. We still got 14 to go. And there's going to be more yellows.
Lights are out.
This racetrack is not getting easier to navigate.
No.
McIntosh leading him back to green with 14 laps to go. Golovic in 2nd, and here comes Ashton Torgerson. Kyle Larson waiting in the wings. As back under the green flag, they just try to run away from the rest of the field, but Justin Peck starting to close in as well in that 5P.
Oh, look at the move from Larson. I thought he was going to make it.
So brave by Torgerson to stay in the throttle there and creates it into an opportunity to get past Golubic.
Down the back straightaway, Torgerson after Golubic for the spot, with Larson lingering in the background. Top 3 make it top 4, trying to streak away from this field. As McIntosh continues to put him in the books. It'll be 11 to go this time by, and Golubic getting a little snug up on the cushion that time around. Torgerson on the attack into 1.
That top's going to get harder and harder. Look for the bottom to come back into play somehow, some way by the end of this.
McIntosh still around the outside. Oh, big bike there from Ashton Torgerson. Here comes Kyle Larson, gonna line up a bomb into 1 and 2, up and over the berm. Will he clear him? No. Torgerson around the outside, picks up the front end, down into turn 3 and 4. Now a bomb on Shane Golubic.
Returns a move of his own, but can't complete it. Torgerson under fire from Larson. Larson through 1 and 2 slide job, up across the nose. Beautiful crossover coming from Torgerson, but he can't quite get there. As Kyle Larson slides himself in 3 and 4, he's got position 3 with 8 left.
It'll protect the bottom.
They're still going at it, and that sucking Jerry Coons Jr. right up to him.
Got 1 on the wall. We keep going and stay green as we focus in on this battle for 3rd. Larson versus Ashton Torgerson. Looks like Larson now starting to put a little bit of a gap in between. Brent Cruz is up to 8th and moving as the battle for the lead is underway, coming to 6 laps to go.
Oh, across the nose goes Golubic. Crossover McIntosh at the line. Golubic at the lead on the 24th lap.
Shane Golubic now on the outside. He's got Cannon McIntosh to the inside. McIntosh will follow him around the outside. Oh, big up and over the curb goes Golubic, and here comes Cannon McIntosh. Slider into 1 and 2 with 5 to go. Can't get it done. We've got 1 upside down in turn 3, and that'll bring out the yellow flag just as that battle was getting hot and heavy, and it's Gary Taylor.
How much did Kyle Larson hate that, as he had just crept in on those two, exchanging absolute bombs.
And Brent Cruz now up to 6th.
Cruz is coming, but it was Jerry Coons Jr. who actually made it through that muddled pack and started working forward. Let's get a look at the IBOC replay of GT getting in and just skipping over in the Dunlap 32. Third lead change of this race. 2 different leaders. Golubic has led 1 through 8. McIntosh took it 9 through 23. Golubic gets it back on lap 24 with 6 to go. It is Golubic, McIntosh, Larson, Torgerson, Coons Jr., Brent Cruz from 17th up to 6th after having to run a C main tonight.
Yeah, what a run is he on, but also, too, there's some from the back of the field. Michelle Decker, 24th to 15th. Dylan from 21st to 13th. We've got some big movers and shakers capitalizing on others' mistakes, but also where this racetrack is going. Brian Ward, you've got Gary Taylor.
Yeah, I've got Gary here just trying to get situated on this side-by-side. Never good to go wheels up like that. A little bit of damage here to the front end. Tell me what happened coming into the corner.
I just tried to run the top, and it's getting really sketchy, and I just didn't do it right, and hit the curb too hard, tipped it over.
Looks like it's not too much that you guys can easily get fixed back up and be ready to go for an E or D Saturday.
Yeah, we'll be ready E-main Saturday, I guess.
Guys, they're going to tow this car up and get back to work on it.
Guys, we haven't had a single car lapped yet, outside of cars that have dropped out of the field.
Here's where this is going to get sketchy, guys, because it's going to take a minute for these guys to get going again on the top, and it's getting so tough. And if you have a minute here to dial on your shocks, you can get this bottom coming back in. I know it's there, especially when guys get racing in front of you.
Who do you trust to hit it?
How about Jerry?
Let's find out.
5 laps to go here on Monday night as we're back under the green flag, and just like that, here it goes, the battle for the lead again. McIntosh threw one at Golubic.
The bravery by Golubic to keep his foot in it the long way around.
That opens him up to Larson, though. That's a big move on the restart when you're in a lock-in spot.
Oh, Larson climbed the front wall, coming back after McIntosh, tiptoeing through 2. McIntosh looking to get it back. Larson downstairs to close the door with 3 to go.
These two going at it. Shane Golobic absolutely launched out of a cannon. He's gone. Here comes Ashton Torgerson looking to get to 3rd as Larson bangs off the cushion off 2.
Kyle Larson down the back straightaway trying to reel in Golobic while adding some position between himself and McIntosh. As laps tick down, we are just 2 to go. Golobic looking for the prelim night win. Larson trying to roll in.
Watch Larson. He went up the wall again, just like we saw the shootout in 1 and 2.
Here it comes. 1 lap to go. The white flag is out. Larson to the inside. Slider across the nose. Can't get it done. We've got one upside down in a big way in turn 3 and 4 here on the final lap. And Larson was lining up a haymaker, but he's going to have to try it again with a green-white checkered. Can't tell who that is, but man, you're right. Larson started to use that ramp line that we saw at the Tulsa shootout. And Shane Golubic's got it going. You've got to be kidding me.
It's Kyler Johnson in the 71 who was having a really good A-main. Johnson had been as high as about 14th before he ends up in the wall there, and that should relegate him to about a 20th place finish in this. Heck of a day for Johnson, who opened up some eyes with a 9-4 run in the qualifier.
Monster qualifier run for Kyler, but good to see him out of the race car.
Hey guys, I just want to put my 2 cents in here of a driver that's really making his way up through the field as we watch the accident scene there in turn 4. How about Dylan Welch? He started 22nd in this one. He's already up into 11th, guys, with 1 lap to go.
Absolutely. Good point, Earl. And just watching him just capitalizing on others' mistakes. You heard from Gary Taylor how treacherous the cushion is. Just roll in the bottom, right? Go the safer route, and you're going to capitalize on others' mistakes, and Dylan's doing a nice job. 22nd to 11th and possibly more. He's got Tanner Carrick up ahead. But Brent Cruz, top 5. Clinton Boyles, you called it here with 2 to go.
Guys, the racing in Tulsa has been so great this year. We're going to go into overtime. Why not?
Free racing.
Checker to figure it out. 31 lap A-main.
Let's do it. You got Shane Golobic, who's been a 4-time runner-up in this building on prelim nights. Everyone's wondering, when are you going to get one? When are you going to get one? He's now in the catbird seat as they come to the restart zone. 1 to go, signal given.
And if he's going to get it, he's got to hold off, of all people, Kyle Larson.
You're going to get a Golobic versus Larson versus McIntosh for all the marbles here on Second Opinion Auto Qualifying night. And the yellow lights stay back on, so we'll get one more caution lap.
Golubic's got to have the restart of his life here.
Yeah.
He fired really well around the high side of 1 and 2. But man, if you're Shane, I don't know that you do anything other than slide yourself for 4 corners. It's so hard to turn down off of that cushion and create any sort of drive that if you slide yourself, you're just so protected. Golobic had a great restart, and McIntosh still found a way to slide him in 1 and 2 on the last restart.
Shane Golobic, Kyle Larson, Cannon McIntosh, Ashton Torgerson, and Brent Cruz for all the marbles here on Monday night. 2-lap shootout to the finish.
He fired off really well again. He goes to the high side. Here's the slider from Larson. Across, but Golobic keeps his foot in it down the back straightaway. Another slide job from Larson. Across the nose. Golobic doesn't get it turned under as well this time to the white flag, and Larson to the lead.
Larson's going to run the slider line. Here comes Golobic lining him up for one final time. Into turns 3 and 4. Golobic to the bottom. Larson protects. Up the hill they go. Welcome back to the Chili Bowl. Larson steals it on Monday night. How about that? Capitalizing at the finish, Kyle Larson gets it done and is a prelim night winner again. This time on Monday, gives a tip of the cap to Shane Golobic, your other lock-in car, but now 5-time runner-up for Shane Golobic. Cannon McIntosh, Brent Cruz, a 4th place finish from deep in this one, starting 17th.
The slider line for 4 corners, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so hard to play against that when you're the leader.
When Shane didn't get to the bottom of 3, coming off the top of 2 on the white flag lap. And there it was.
Yeah.
Also, that's why that guy's really damn good.
I mean, we talked about it. Race of Champions qualifying, we go, man, the speed looks off.
Yeah.
They work on it. Him and Paul Silva, the whole crew.
When a racetrack gets that technical, it's not about speed. It's the driver. He's so good.
Kyle Larson out of the race car, the crowd going nuts.
Well, Monday night set a really high bar. Bell wins the Race of Champions. Larson says, hold my beer.
And Shane Golobic says, what do I do need to win a prelim night? Unreal. Let's go down to Scotty Cook in the house to get a word with Kyle Larson.
Kyle Larson prevails after 30 laps of action. That was a doozy. And how about the efforts of the state of California's Shane Golobic? Boy, drive the wheels off that thing, son. Ashton Torgerson fills up the podium, and congratulations to him. Kyle Larson visits with the crew, having a word with Paul Silva. Guys looking at right rear over. Boy, this thing was slicked off top to bottom. And Kyle Larson makes it to victory lane on his qualifying night. What a run, my friend. You got shuffled out early, so you had a little mountain to climb the first half of the race to get back into the top 4.
Yeah, definitely. Wasn't pretty. Wasn't a pretty 30 laps. Just things didn't work out early, and kind of had to methodically kind of fight my way back forward. And yeah, just was able to, make it happen. Really, I didn't feel that good. We still have a lot of work to do to really compete, on Saturday. But I'm confident. Paul will figure it out like he always does. So yeah, I wanted to be kind of smart there. I know it probably didn't look like it on the last restart, but you don't want to give up, a lock-in spot, but you also want to win because, you can't win the Chili Bowl from, the third row on back. So, yeah, it was a lot of work there. I'd have to watch it back. I tried being, as clean as I could be, sliding across. He was able to just kind of get back around me off of 2, and I sent it again in 3 and 4, and, I kind of went across the same speed as I did 1 and 2, so I was hoping he would either get by me or maybe trip on the cushion, and I'm guessing he tripped on the cushion. So yeah, it was a fun, challenging race there, when we just weren't that good, but like I said, we were able to find a way. So thanks to FloRacing and Paul Silva, hindercars.com, everybody helps on this 1K.
Great way to get your week started off well. You won't have to stress about being behind the 8 ball, and you put yourself in really good position come Saturday evening.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, right? So yeah, you want to get locked in for sure, but first means a lot more than second. You don't have to work quite as hard in the I don't know what they do, qualifying shuffle thing. So yeah, I think we should start no worse than 6th, depending on how it all shakes out Saturday. So yeah, we'll just keep working. Sunshine, he gets to run on Friday night. Paul will have a few days to think about what to keep tuning on these cars with, but still able to get a win. So it feels good, and gives us a little bit more confidence, but still a lot of work to do. We were pretty far off in that Race Champions, and honestly pretty far off there. Just was able to figure some things out.
No doubt, and per usual, an outstanding surface, slicked off top to bottom with a nice little ledge to lean on. Per usual, these guys pulling it off here with the track crew.
Yeah, it's ice slick too. It's challenging, it's sketchy, slick to a curb. I've never really raced, a midget on a track quite like this, where usually when it gets like that, everybody starts migrating to the bottom, but it seems, you just keep trying to pound it. So yeah, it's wild. It makes it not easy from our seat, but I hope the fans really enjoy it, because we are extremely challenged behind the wheel right now.
An opportunity to relax for the rest of the week, put your game face on come Saturday. Hell of a run tonight.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Larson, your winner tonight. The Cali boys getting it done, getting the congratulations from his old buddy Shane Golobic. I tell you what, bud, one whale of an effort. I know that
we are spoiled to live in the age of Kyle Larson driving open wheel race cars still.
It's incredible to watch, and when Kyle talks about how challenging it is, you know that it's truly challenging.
Well, let's kick things down. We have got third place Cannon McIntosh lined up and ready to go for our K1 interview.
Yeah, thank you, Caleb. You talk about an up and down night, upside down in a heat race. You rebound, still end up with a pretty solid run. I know you wanted to be one of those top 2 spots, but from where you were in the heat race, this has still got to feel like you had an okay night.
Yeah, a good turnaround for sure, but it's always frustrating when you lead laps like that, and looks like it's going your way, and then just not do enough there to finish it off. So disappointing. Definitely disappointing. You know, I'm honestly more frustrated that we didn't win than not locking in. I really wanted to win that race. Just after the night we had going, I was just hoping to cap it off and turn it around with a win. But yeah, just not for lack of effort. This KKM crew gave me a great piece. Thankful for Mobile One on board, Toyota. Just a lot of amazing partners. Got to thank the Lord above for putting me in this position, and all my family for the support. Just unfortunate we fell short, but definitely got some speed in it. I just gotta do a few things, clean some stuff up, and I think we'll be in the fight.
It seemed like you were better there early when we had some longer green flag runs. The second half of the race seemed to have a few more cautions. Do you feel like that was part of the factors?
Yeah, I mean, that curve was getting really tricky, and I wasn't leaning on it as much as I could have. I just didn't want to be the guys that bounced off of it and took ourselves out when there was still laps left. I just didn't want to overdo it, but obviously didn't do enough. I got tied a couple times there, and I think that's just when Golubic got a run on us, and and then Larson got by us, and I knew it was going to be a good fight from there. I was hoping they'd get to racing. That last lap there, I tried to just stick the bottom and see if it would work, and just not enough. But just thankful to be in the position anyway, and we'll bounce back, go win the B main, and see what we can do in the feature on Saturday.
Good job.
Thank you.
There you go. Cannon McIntosh rebounds from upside down in a heat race to a podium here tonight.
Clinton, that was one of the more conservative Cannon McIntosh races I feel like we've ever watched.
Yeah, I think he's just, put out a little bit on his performance and feels like he maybe could have done a little bit more. And, I mean, I'm here to tell you, those are two of the best to try to battle with. And, obviously it's not where he wants to be. And just, that's a tough situation to be in.
Let's check in with Earl, who's got our runner-up.
Yeah, tonight's second-place finisher, Shane Golubic. Okay, so bigger picture, you're locked in, right? But let's talk about this race. I was keeping my eye on you the whole time. About the halfway point, seemed like this NOS Energy drink midget got a little tight on you.
Yeah, it's. It was really good all race. I kind of mismanaged the early part there and let Canyon by, but it's just not my cup of tea, really, banging up a huge curve like that and just running the piss out of these things. That was all I had there for a little while, just trying to keep the thing rotated and running as hard as I can and drive around sliders and just do anything I could to win, and just didn't quite get her done. But very happy with the way the car felt. It would eat up the curb. I'd go in there and smack it like a rookie, and it would kind of still handle it and keep going back down the straightaway. And great car. Big picture, I'm real tired of hearing big picture, but it is the truth. We are here to win Saturday, but man, I'm just getting real tired of running second.
Caution comes out, 1 lap to go. We have green-white checkers here at the Chili Bowl. What's going through your mind? Because you have Kyle Larson and Cannon McIntosh gunning for you.
Yeah, not ideal by any means to have a yellow there coming through 3 and 4 to the checkered. Felt like maybe we had them covered at that point, but it's not over until it's over, and you have to be able to just manage those laps a little bit better. And Kyle just sold out and made it happen, and probably had an opportunity to just turn him and just finish him off there and come into 3 and 4, hook his bumper or something. But I couldn't do it. That's not how we want to win here. So we're gonna get one in this building, and I would not be surprised if it's this week.
Shane Golubic, guys, you heard him. Still runner-up place finish on his qualifying night. Big picture, he's locked in, but still he's going to be in the hunt for the Golden Driller.
You definitely understand after this many how much second place sucks for Shane Golubic.
Yeah. He is absolutely tired of hearing that for sure. Now his 5th runner-up on a prelim night. Let's go down Chris Moore with our winner.
Yeah, I've got the guy who stole it from him there late. Kyle, we were just talking. Seemed like the yellows really helped you. You were kind of mired 5th, 6th the first half of the race. Got a couple yellows there, and then you did what you do.
Yeah, thanks. No, the yellows definitely help. I think it just kind of brings the pace down. People get kind of moving around, track's a little dirtier, you get out of your rhythm. So yeah, it helped me, and I don't know. We just found a way, which was nice, but still got to get a lot better for Saturday. But to win definitely helps, and Paul's the best there is in the building. So I'm confident, with Sunshine racing on Friday, we'll get these cars better and be make things a little easier, hopefully. So that was a lot of fun, though. It was a great track and just wild. I've never ran a midget here or anywhere where it's just ice slick to a frickin' curb and you have to, lay into the curb. So it's super challenging behind the wheel, and I doubt anybody's cars feel great, but it's a lot of fun. So yeah, just happy to win and setting ourselves up okay for Saturday.
Well, you talk about your race cars and the racetrack. How does what you felt tonight compare to what you felt a couple weeks ago in a micro on the racetrack that everybody raved about all week during shootout?
Yeah, I mean, it was almost getting sort of that way. It was just like opposite ends of the corner. You could kind of ramp up on the wall off of 2 a little bit. And, it just wasn't enough laps to like build enough comfort to commit to it, and you're still trying to finish well because every position matters to this race. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, if it continues to get like this throughout the week, yeah, I mean, you just got to get comfortable ramping the wall. So we'll see, but still have to get our car better. I think if my car was a little bit more balanced, it'd make things a lot easier to run, that lane, but also other lanes. So yeah, we keep working, but thanks to FloRacing, HitYourCars.com, everybody on board with the 1K. It's fun to be back at the Chili Bowl with a full-blown effort, and good to be back in victory lane.
Great job, Kyle.
Thanks.
There you go, Kyle Larson, right back where he belongs on the top step of the podium here at the Tulsa Expo Center, guys.
Guys, it was an incredible main event, just like we anticipated. 31 laps. We went 1 lap of overtime, and early on, Shane Golubic controlled the pace for the first 8 laps, but lots happening in behind him.
Including early with Briggs Danner, the young phenom out of Pennsylvania, with Alex Bowman taking it to the top dogs early, but unfortunately went for a little too much early and the cushion bit him.
That was Tanner Carrot getting up and over and cost him some spots. There is the big one that you talked about. Just a little too much speed and couldn't keep her down. Danner out early. On the restart, here comes Cannon McIntosh on the attack, looking to steal it away from Shane Golubic. This was on lap number 9. McIntosh would take the lead and control the bulk of the middle portion of the race. Meanwhile, behind him, Carrick, Larson, Torgerson, and more, picking him up, putting him down, using every inch of the Expo Raceway to move forward.
Yeah, Kyle Larson skyward off of 4, puts it down, slides the nose. I mean, it was just absolutely a dogfight throughout this field. Contact here, Carrick sends Weigel upside down. Zach was pretty upset after that one.
This was around, I'm going to say lap 17, lap 16, 17 or so. Gives everybody a chance to regather, and back on the attack goes Golubic as Larson starts picking him up and picking a spot up and into 3rd. Now, big portion of the race happening here in just a couple of seconds. You're going to watch the flip from Gary Taylor. That's going to bunch him up deep late. Golubic had retaken the lead on lap number 24, but coming into this final little run, take a look. Kyle Larson looking to move to 2nd here on McIntosh.
Yeah, just waiting in the wings and using, his knowledge of this racetrack to his advantage, capitalizing on others' mistakes, and then we get this big flip at the end with Kyler Johnson setting up the late race restart. And Shane Golubic said, not ideal to have Kyle Larson behind you, and this is why, able to just attack off the get-go. Golubic able to defend early, just too little too late.
We thought right here is where Golubic should go down, slide himself, block going into 3. He did not get that door closed, nor the car rotated enough early in the corner to cross under, and it was Larson leading lap 30 and 31 to take the prelim night win and guarantee himself a start in the top 5 of the pole shuffle coming up for Saturday afternoon. Golubic leads lap 1 through 8. Cannon McIntosh 9 through 23. Golubic lap 24. Larson leads lap 30 and 31 to take the win. Larson, Golubic, McIntosh, Cruz, Torgerson, Coons Jr., Miller, Peck, Marcham, and Dylan Welch, your top 10 tonight.